echoes in the wind. Every yard we claim, we play to win. They said we were done, they said we were through, but we bleed that blue, and we always knew. Stars over Texas, burning bright. Cowboys rising in the dead of night. Victory's ours, hear the thunder roll. We're the heart of the South, and we're taking control. Dak leads a charge with fire in his soul. CD breaks loose, unstoppable goal. There's ghost in the huddle, and it's stride in our veins. We carry their glory through blood and pain. Let 'em talk, let 'em doubt. We'll silence every rival with a knockout shout. One team, one dream. We ride together into the light. Stars over Texas, burning bright.
The world is changed. I feel it in the water. I feel it in the earth. I smell it in the air. Much that once was is lost. For none now live who remember it.
We are live. Yes, we are. We are live tonight. NFC East Clash, episode 16. We have 3 of the 4 combatants in the house now. Me, my partner, Primetime Phil. Phil, good evening, brother. What's going on?
All right, let me do the non-rookie mistake and actually mute myself before I start waving my hands like Madden and stuff like that. Nothing happens at all. We've all been there. Nothing like live streaming itself. So, but no, everything is good. Football, I wouldn't say is near, but at least it's a little bit in the air. There's at least chatter. There's at least trash talking. There is NFC's clash time. But yeah, it's a good time of year.
Yeah, now how we're going to do this, I'm going to introduce each one. We are waiting for Louis. Louis, I did tell him originally 9 o'clock, so probably closer to 9 we'll get Louis. But let's start with the man, Mike Tagg. Mike Tagg from Cowboys Cave. It will be representing the Dallas Cowboys. We won't gang up on you guys. I trust you. Me and Phil, we're here to ask the questions. Get in there when we need to. But Mike Tagg.
Oh, trust me. Yeah.
The Cowboys Cave, I think he has some of the best guests that I've ever seen on a YouTube channel. You just produce week after week, it seems like, with just past players, and your connections are incredible, Mike Tagg. Thank you for representing the Cowboys, brother. Good evening.
Now, I'm happy to be here, man. I'm getting ready. The season is getting started. I'm feeling good. Got them Eagles here. Got the Giants here. Of course, Washington's going to be late because they're going to be in last place. But we don't need to worry about them. We got the guys here to get this thing going.
We have representing the Birds, making his triumphant return to the channel. I don't know if he's gonna like it, but he's like the Lord Brunson. He's like my Lord Brunson. Representing the Bird section, Leo Bridgewater. What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm good, man. I just want to say, I know y'all saw me laughing, and the reason why I was laughing is because Primetime Phil has the same smile in every single one of those pictures he's in the intro. It goes from here to here.
Yeah,
no teeth.
I hit the wrong button, so I just went with it. So I was gonna go with the short one. It's all good. It's all good. But And
Glad to
now
be here
I
with y'all.
reached
Those are all
out.
AI generated. That's why, man. I don't smile.
Well, we went to Vegas. I was like, I try and add different, like every year we'll go to a different game or a couple games, and I try to add some photos and
And I'm
throw
usually
that.
pretty happy to be there. I don't know until
Yeah.
know if there's a loss or anything. It's
I have
different.
a good feeling, but we
Look,
open
Game Time,
up.
he doing it now. He doing it now. Look. That's it.
We open up
AI my
week one.
ass.
We open up
That's
week
you.
one in the belly of the beast. I'll probably be there. We welcome our next content creator. A shout out to Bleed Blue for Life, Clemente, my friend. He said, you got to go get Big Dash Nose, and we got him. Thank God he answered my call. Big Dash, welcome, my friend. How you doing?
First, I want to say thanks for having me. I'm in the belly of the beast. I see right now, even though you'll be in the belly of the beast, definitely week one on Sunday night. So I can't wait to get this thing started, man, and rap and talk football with you guys.
Now, I did hear through, I guess it was Clemente. He's saying that you are excited to finally, not that you did beat us the last time we played you, as far as the Cowboys. You know, what's your
Be
thought on
competitive.
the Cowboys? Yeah, I mean, you want to put boot to ass week one, don't you?
Absolutely. As a Giants fan, we've been dealing with a lot the last. Well, I can't even say the last couple of seasons, for almost a decade now. We had a nice little fluky season in 2022. I kind of jumped out of the window that year, kind of like the Commanders did this past year. Got a little ahead of myself and then fell flat on our faces. But I'm hyped for Harbaugh, and I can't wait to beat you guys. Not just week one, man. I'm trying to bring out the sweep. I need to beat Dallas in Dallas. Last year, heartbreaker at the end of the game. Thought we had the walk-off home run with Malik Neighbors and Russ. And then, our defensive coordinator, unfortunately.
Well, breaking news, everybody. Joe Shane has just been extended. So while we're talking about the Giants, there we go, the sigh. Before we get to Dash, let's start with Tag and then go to Leo. What's your thought about the Giants? You guys can go at it, but we'll go Tag, then Leo, and Big Dash get in there. But go ahead, Tag. What's your thoughts regarding the Giants and especially week one?
Yeah, I'm a believer, and it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And I think the Giants are going to be better, but I don't think they're going to be better week one. We got them on the road. That's perfect time to play them. We'll beat them like we always do to open the season. And then by the end, they will be better, I think. But we're going to be better, and then we get them back at home. So I think the Giants are going to they're going to get better as the year goes on. I just don't know if they're ready for prime time yet.
Leo?
In regards to the Giants, and the
Giants,
Cubs,
yeah.
Well,
Giants
well, Dash,
opening,
you
yeah.
can respond if you want. It's not like you
Yeah,
have
I
to
was
wait.
gonna say.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
I was trying to,
Yeah,
I
go
want
ahead,
to
bro.
be
Just-
respectful. I'm in
yeah.
somebody else's house. Want to be
Nah,
respectful a little
it's
bit.
your house, brother. You're here, so
Nah,
we're all
man,
good.
I know. Trust me. It's just so much I can say because as far as just history and in the last couple of years and stuff like that, I can't sit here and act like 40-0 didn't happen a couple years ago.
I was there.
But it's an entirely new regime. It's an entirely new coaching staff. It's a new vibe in the building. I know it's like a broken record when you say things like that, but I think we'll be more physical, and also I think that we'll be actually ready to go. Preparation is one thing that Brian Dable lacked preparation, and I don't think we have to worry about that with Harbaugh in the building. So I'm ready to jump.
Your thoughts on Joe Shane? Joe Shane, in the words of Kyle Pizzle. Joe Shane. Joe Shane.
I wanted Shane gone. I wanted Shane gone last year. The start before the 2025 draft when we got rid of certain. I wanted him gone. Obviously, he didn't. And then this year, I wanted him gone again, and it didn't happen. So him and Harbaugh seem to have some type of relationship. And as long as he knows to step aside and let Harbaugh manage the team the way that he wants to, then okay, just let him. He can make his money then.
Linda
Just don't be in the way.
Conyers with the super chat. Let's discuss depth of rosters for all four teams. Yeah, Linda, we will get to that as much as we can. Thank you for the super chat. Leo, your thoughts on the Giants, man? Like where you see, and then we'll let Phil get in here. Your thoughts on the Giants?
Well, I think they're in that transition period. I don't have big expectations of them because when you are a first year head coach, first year head everything, DC, OC, all that. To Mike's point, that those first 4 or 5 games, that bumbling period. So if there was ever a time that even the Cowboys would be susceptible to a loss, that would be the game, as to which Mike said, to the Cowboys winning. Same thing with us too. Playing the Commanders. Brian, I gotta be honest with you, bro. I don't take it for granted, because for some odd reason, it doesn't matter how good we are, we all end up splitting with each other most of the time. So it's just like, we don't know. It's stumbling, bumbling period for us. If you're gonna, if you're gonna get a game that we should win or shouldn't, that would be the game. So yeah, I think they can, both teams. It's going to be interesting considering all the changes. CP's first time out with fielding this defensive product that they have on the Cowboys.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I kind of think that the Giants' floor dash has been raised. That's kind of how I look at it. Their floor has been raised, right? The ceiling is kind of moving right now. I think that it's very bright future, but like I said, not really sure. It'll be interesting, especially with Malik Neighbors. Phil, do you want to get in here?
Yeah. One thing you're going to find out about us is that we kind of tend to look at it, the bigger spectrum. We don't focus on just the negative. We definitely see when I saw the Giants a couple of years ago when they had Dayball still, and they won all of a sudden, they went to the playoffs. I was like, that kind of got stunt their growth a little bit, like they succeeded a little bit further than what the plan originally was. As a team that's just trying to improve in general, the only thing that you can do is go out and make the moves in the spots that you need. And I think coaching staff, man, I got to give you credit, man. That is a coaching staff that you should be extremely proud of to put quickly together. You kind of scooped in there any kind of star player. Like when you look at the Eagles, for example, AJ Brown, Barkley, those guys, you have a team giving up on somebody and you have to be that team to sweep in there and grab that person. I think you guys did that with the Giants, with your head coach there. So I think that was a great move, especially with really quick turnaround. When I look at how they improved as a team, like they definitely did improve. I was a little bit nervous about some of the other moves they could have made that would have made them a little bit more dangerous, like the wide receiver in the first round that I was like, oh my God, we pair them up with Neighbors. Oh my God, this could be something that, and let's say, our weakness is the cornerback position. So I was a little bit nervous there. And so that move not being done other than like later on. So that right there kind of makes me feel a little bit better, but not to say that you didn't improve and that team's definitely improved. Yeah.
See, and that's funny to me too, because coming from Dallas, right? You guys build in the trenches, offensive line after offensive lineman. You build in the trenches, and yes, we passed on the wide receiver, but we picked up Maui Noah, and as a Philly fan
Great
too
moves.
over there, you guys build in the trenches, and we have been lacking in the trenches. And I think for the first time we were able to look at the trenches and say, yeah. This is where we need to build, and I'm happy with what we did. I'm happy that we were able to re-sign Illuminor, so we got our bookend tackles. We got our right guard of and possibly future right tackle once Illuminor, because he's a little bit older.
How do you feel about Dexter Lawrence moving on? How do you feel about that whole thing?
Oh man, I
Sexy
was
Dexter.
absolutely like distraught when Dexter Dexter left, right? And the main thing I said was this, and I said this on my own channel. It's like, if it's about the money, let it be about the money. I said, but if he doesn't want to be here, then he can kick rocks barefoot.
Yep.
And he didn't want to be here, so he's in Cincinnati. That's fine. Trust me, I have a lot of relief with getting DJ Reader, even though he's not like a top tackle still.
He's a big body, though. Yeah.
But he can do what we need him to do.
Yeah.
He's a plugger. He's a plugger, and he allows the linebackers to move freely, and that's what we also improved to at the second level. So there are a lot.
Yeah, and
there's
you
a
got-
lot of improvements.
Yeah, you got great value for a quick turnaround. I think that's something that we lack as well too. So I'm interested to see again, even as trades are happening as well here too. Even with the Eagles, AJ Brown there sitting there, I'm looking at the value. What are they going to have? What they gave up, what they're getting back. If you equal out and all of a sudden you just rented him for a couple of years, guess what? That was an amazing value. So
I
I
have a
mean,
question.
there's a lot. Go ahead,
I have a question, because there was rumors about Pickens possibly being traded too. Obviously,
Mike.
that got
This could be
squashed.
Mike Tag. Here you go, Mike.
No, he's not getting traded.
And yeah, I didn't think so either. It felt like it was going to be ridiculous to try to get rid of that tandem too, because trust me, it's a headache. George Pickens. Now, I do have a question, Mike. Though, is
be
it
right
is
back,
it the
boys.
whole wide receiver 1, wide receiver? Oh, sorry, 1A, 1B, when it comes to Pickens and CD?
I mean, if he plays what he did last year, then it is. But what's wrong with a 1A, 1A and 1B? I mean, why does there have to be a 1 and a 2? And I mean, let's get some ballers out there, man. Just get some ballers that want to win. And I think Pickens did a good job, but no team was knocking on his door to pay him big money because he still has that reputation. I remember when he was at Georgia and you saw what was going on in Pittsburgh, but it was a home run for the Cowboys to get him. I don't know if they're going to be able to extend him after this year, but like I tell people, I'll worry about next year. I need to worry about now. It's been a long time.
We'll go here in a second. When I look at those two and, A1 or whatever, all that stuff, I just think of who's not dealing with some bullshit this week. When I look at CD, like I've seen him give up in the middle of a game, looking at the referee as the ball was still in the air, like it's just like looking for the flag. And so sometimes he's disappeared, and there was a certain game where, both of them kind of disappeared as well too. So it's whoever isn't dealing with crap at that time. I think, that's kind of where you need the other one to step up. And I think that's what they kind of need to figure out their roles is, hey man, when the other one's not going, I need to turn it up a notch, but I've seen both of them with their antics as well too. So I think I love the combination, but also they're, just like a diva receivers, man, they can be a pain in the ass as well.
No doubt.
You guys got good depth too as far as wide receiver. Well, who'd you got? Did you guys lose Tolbert?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about loose Tober, but we
Yeah, Mike, Mike Tag, what's your thoughts on
we took him over to the woods and we're like walked away real quickly.
I mean, Mike,
well,
you can't
Tolbert's the man in Miami now. He's the man in Miami.
Oh, yeah, he has to be.
But I like Flanoy. I thought he stepped up, when he got those opportunities. He's going to be, a guy to keep an eye on at 3. But obviously, you got the tight end. I mean, they got weapons. Offense is never the problem with Dallas lately, right? It's the defense. It's going to come down to that.
But you guys made a lot of, like, this offseason, Rashawn Gary, you picked up him too. And you guys, well, linebacker, you ended up getting the guy from, D. Winters.
Yeah,
from,
D. Winters and Singleton, both from the 49ers. Singleton's more of a...
So I'm curious, like, do you think you guys improved at the second level?
Man, you can't get any worse than they were last year.
You can be the Giants. With those linebackers, yeah.
Now, I think the linebackers, I don't know what you guys think, Brian, and it's. I feel good. I feel better, when they got D. Winters. I don't know if they have another trade up their sleeve, maybe getting,
need more,
getting Phillips from Jordan out of Miami, if that's what they want to do. But I feel a lot better than I did going into the offseason. And the front 7 I feel good with. It's really the back end, the cornerbacks. That's where I'm still not 100% a believer in what we got back there.
Yeah, it's funny you say
tackles.
Yeah, it's
tackles
funny you
are a
say
question.
that. Yeah, go ahead. I'll read the super chat.
No, I was going to say, when you look at our
says,
offense,
what the hell is
I think
a
the
floor
tackles. Yeah, he was giving us that last year. I think our tackles, when I look at offense, what's going to happen in the depth of tight end, is Schoonmaker going to finally be out? But I think our tackles are always going to be kind of our weakness because Guyton obviously hasn't answered any kind of question. When I look at, to sweep it under the rug a little bit, when I look at that Guyton whole draft, I look at him and I look at Cooper Beebe. Okay, I switch him in my mind. I put Cooper Beebe that we drafted in the first round, and we drafted Guyton in the third round, and somehow that justifies it in my head. But But really, when it comes to that, I think that's going to be the question, man. We got
it's linebacker, right? And I don't know. I mean, let's be honest, guys. This game is normally played in. I think I saw a stat: 73% of the snaps are in nickel. So that means you're going to have 2 linebackers on the field. But, in the base 3-4, I'm waiting. We got D. Winters. We got Overshown. He needs to stay healthy. I don't know what.
That's right. You guys did switch your.
So again, if you think of it from that perspective, I don't think Dallas will make a move until they get to a training camp. They're going to see what they got with. Let's not forget Jay Sean Barnum. Again, if it's good for other people to draft, I will say Mike Tagg. When I hear Christian Parker talk, he wanted 2 guys. He said, "What 2 guys? If they did not get, would he be upset about?" And obviously Downs wasn't one of them because, Downs should have went higher, right? I mean, he should have went higher. Downs should not have been there when we in striking range for the Cowboys. He should have went a lot higher. He did not. So that was some luck. But he wanted. We could all debate it, and Leo, get in here whenever you want. But with obviously the second first-round pick, Malachi Lawrence, that's a debate, but that was who Christian Parker wanted. So people could say, oh, that was a stretch. Well, that's the guy he loved. He fell in love with. And the other guy was Jay Sean Barnum out of Michigan, who was he's a beast. So I don't know how he's going to work out with Dallas.
Were those right after each other? Those two picks?
No, you had Lawrence was a first rounder, and Barnum was one of the Eagle fourth round picks that we traded when we traded back. So we got, no, it was the third round pick, right, Phil? Yeah,
Third.
he was third overall.
For the Osas.
Yeah, that was Osa Odigizua for Jay Sean Barnum. Just to let you know, Mike. Jay Sean Barnum 6'4.5". I mean, like 253.
But also Barnum gives you some versatility too, because at Michigan, prior to the year, he played off ball, and then he moved into the edge too. So
that's what I mean. So their plan is to play him at linebacker and a 3-4. So that's. I mean, what's your thoughts, Mike?
No, I mean they're rookies. So
on paper, right?
On paper it's good, but you got to see it. And Marinelli pounded the table for Taco Charlton. So just because the coach wants it,
because everybody loves tacos. Everybody loves tacos.
But Tuesday, I love Christian Parker. I think, what I love what the Cowboys did. The Cowboys go back to the well of getting the retreads that Jerry Jones is familiar with, right? With what he did with Eberflus and Zimmer and all those ones. He went outside, got young guys from position coaches. So they did something different. So that's what gives me hope, and that's what makes me feel good. And I'm not questioning any draft pick he did. Lawrence, I live in Florida. I'm a Miami guy. I know he went to UCF. His name never came up anywhere, and down here, I've never.
So there you go. You and Phil
wasn't
both
up there, but I don't know. He could be great. I mean, he could be great.
Yeah. When you look at how they used him, and when he originally got there, he was promised one thing. That coach ended up leaving, and so the next coach that came in there didn't really utilize him. And then by the final year, he finally got into a defense where he could, where they were finally using him correctly. But, again, that's still 7.5 sacks as well, too. So to me, that's that, remember Dorrance Armstrong, that whole thing when you kind of brought him in. So that's you're kind of expecting him to hopefully make those type of numbers. But obviously you're hoping that the ceiling is high on that one. But when you're looking at that, okay, I wanted to kind of ask you, Mike, now when you talk about that coaching staff and everything being brought in, now do you see that as Jones changing his ways because the curtains might be closing for him eventually here in the next 20 years if he doesn't Walt Disney us? But if somehow, do you think that's Schottenheimer in his influence of how they went about doing this coaching staff by the defense?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I think Shotty's had a big influence, and I do think Jerry is, he knows that there's not a lot of time left, man. You don't be father time, and he's not getting any younger. And I mean, the Cowboys have been a disappointment. I mean, we all love our Cowboys, but 30 years, you got to luck your way into a championship game or Super Bowl at some point, and they just haven't been able to do it. And I think the biggest problem with this team is toughness. I mean, they get bullied. Like when they play a team that's going to punch in the mouth, they always end up getting rolled. And I think with Parker and what they've brought in, they brought in some attitude. They got some dogs, and it gets me excited about the season because we got the offense. It's going to come down to the defense, and our offense scored, I forgot what it was, over 30 points. I don't know how many times. And if you score over 30 points, you should win like 80% of the time. And I think we won.
But our defense was allowing 32 points.
Yes,
it was that was the average.
And I want to get Leo's. I want to bring this point up, and then I want Leo's
as well too. Yeah,
idea about the Cowboys. He's going to have to. I don't know. We'll see what he says. But Mike, I was just impressed when I saw the average weight now of the defensive line for the Dallas Cowboys is over 325 pounds. Again, Christian Parker had a vision, rightly or wrongly, right? He had a vision. He wanted his style guys. Osa, we loved Osa, did we not? We loved Osa, but he did not fit. Solomon Thomas, another guy who I thought
Good
was a
man.
great pickup, did not fit in this scheme. So he went, we are bigger. We have Jonathan Bullard, 10-year veteran, will help stop the run in a rotation. Otito Obanya from the Chargers, another big boy. You're not hearing a lot about that. I think Jay Toia is going to be, really fighting for a job. But Leo, please tell everybody where, and you are the team that's won the Super Bowl, the most recent. Where is the game won these days, Leo?
I think in the trenches with the O-line, defensive line, and if I intentionally at this stage of the offseason and until we get to the end of training camp, I've decided, if you guys can see, I put what our projected starting offense and starting defense would be, because I'm of the opinion, listen, if we're going to have this conversation, then fuck it, let's all have this conversation. But I want y'all to be able to put an address on it. That way, and it makes a lot more sense to be able to have it right here, readily available. So if you're talking to me about your 300-pound, 325 average pound defensive line, I present our offensive line. Every one of them was a Pro Bowler, and every single person on that offensive line knows what it means to lose and win a Super
But I mean, we've went out of our way, Leo, to beef up because of what you guys have. That's the whole point. Christian Parker was one of the guys who was involved in. I was surprised, actually, Leo, how much Christian Parker had to do with the defense outside of the backfield. He actually, because I saw an interview with Zach Bond saying he would be on the field with the linebackers prior to the game, making sure everybody is on their P's and Q's. Now, I think Dallas fans have anointed Christian Parker, but early returns are he has the respect of people. We'll see what that means on the field, but he is here, everybody. Everybody has clamored for Louis T Network. He is in the house. First, I want to give my kudos to Bad Dog and Louis T. They are the ones who brought this format, the NFC East, my show is light, but the NFC East Super Friends is one of one. What they do on that show with Lord Brunson and Law Nation and Louis.
It's like a game of dominoes. Yep, I know.
It is fantastic. We are just trying to, and I remember when I was on the show, I think I was on maybe twice, and I said that this was the format. I said, you beat everybody to the punch, and you do it better than anybody else. Louis, thank you so much. We're really, I'm ready to pick your brain regarding the Commanders, but good evening, man. How you been? You're muted. See, I got him, too. I got him.
Yeah. All of you.
Ass.
All of you. Yeah.
There we go.
I'm doing well.
Fucking got him.
How y'all doing tonight?
I'm
man?
doing good, brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm doing good.
So, we'll get to the Commanders because I have some
right
questions.
now we're going into the Eagles, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, is that where we're at, Phil?
I think we're giving everybody we did the Giants, we did the Cowboys, we'll go into the Eagles and the Commanders, and then we'll go into
Louis'
the broad questions.
opinion on it. But we'll start with the Eagles.
Oh yeah. We'll
Go ahead, brother. Are they going to three-peat? Are they going to three-peat, Louis, or no?
No, they're not going to three-peat. I think this is the most vulnerable that they've been in the Nick Sirianni era, if you will. Probably outside of his first year when he took over as head coach and they were trying to figure out, what Jalen Hurts was and how they were going to build their offense around him. You got to look at the Eagles and all of the changes. And they've been an organization that has handled changes really well. I have to give them credit. Hurts hasn't had the same offensive play caller 2 years in a row in his career yet. And it will be a new play caller once again this year. They're going to, for the first time in a long time, have someone other than what feels like a Hall of Fame offensive line coach and Jeff Stoutland holding it down on the offensive line as their coach. I'm anxious to see what kind of ripple effect that has on their offensive line, if any. We'll see. But It just felt like anything he touched turned to gold, platinum in certain instances, like a Mekhi Becton, for instance. I want to see what that looks like.
I brought that up, Louis. I'll let you finish your thought, but I brought that up, and I'm going to date myself. I remember this. I told Philly 500 this on Tuesday night. I said I remember back in the '90s, Tony Wise. He was our offensive line coach, and he was incredible. And he left. And we still had some of the same guys, and you would expect guys to just maintain what they do, right? And it just did not happen. Leo, get in here. What's your thought, man? Like Jeff Stoutland, Leo, he was big. What's your? I mean, Mekhi Becton, your Jordan Mailata. Jeff Stoutland found them on an island. Okay, I mean, what's your thought about that?
Well, as I was saying before, I present the projected starting offense for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I start off telling you that if you're telling me about your prolific defense, then here's the offense that I present. And every single one of those guys on the offensive line are Pro Bowlers and know what it's like to have lost and won a Super Bowl. This group of guys is coming off the longest rest that they've had in the last 3 years. And, guys have gotten, and succession plans are now in place. Lane's replacement has been identified. Landon Dickerson's replacement has been identified, and so forth. And so when you're, what Chris Cooper is inheriting from a Jeff Stoutland, more or less in totality, what Sean Mannion is inheriting is a Ferrari. And so what we need to know is, does he know how to drive stick? Because that was the problem with Kevin Patullo. And so given that you have the good thing that we have with this offense also is that these are guys who have known each other for a while. So there's some continuity on there. Now, granted, the new additions with Dontavian Wicks and Mekhi Lemon and those are only two new additions to this offense. So the rest of these guys, and majority of these guys on this offense have won a Super Bowl, and lost the Super Bowl.
But like to Louis' question, Leo, or not question, but his thought, and I want to get back to him, but his thought is, you can have the same guys. Are they going to perform at the same level without the all-world coach? And I did tell you, you've seen it in the past, and it happened to the Cowboys back in the 90s. I know it's a long time ago, but when you have a talented team, and then he was Stoutland University, right? Right, Louis? It was how they got. You can have the starters on paper, right? Just like everybody's saying, hey, Christian Parker's never called plays, but who's going to, I don't know how this offensive line, that's a tough spot to be in, right, Louis? That's a tough spot to come in.
Yeah, and that was what I was alluding to. Like, there's a lot of change in Philadelphia. And like I said, they've shown the ability to adapt and adjust over the years because there's been a lot of change, but never this much change in one offseason for them. With, like I said, Stoutland, you're getting another new offensive play caller. The biggest thing, it feels like 2 years in a row, if you're an NFC East fan of any team other than the Eagles, last year, if you were a fan of a team other than Dallas, you were rejoicing because the best defensive player, not just in the division, not just in the conference, but arguably in the entire league, was traded out of the division. And you say you can't replace that. I don't care how many guys you draft, how many guys
by
you
committee
trade for. No committee is going to replace the impact of a Michael Parsons.
Right.
I don't give a damn what the Eagles do. I don't care trading for Dontavian Wicks or drafting Mekhi Lemon. And I really love Lemon as a football player, but he's not A.J. Brown. He doesn't replace what A.J. Brown does. On 4th and 5, when Hurts looks over to AJ one-on-one because they're coming with a zero blitz, or it's 4th and 5 and he gets one-on-one on the outside and he just throws it up there and AJ goes and gets it, or it's 3rd and 7 and AJ just boxes a guy out and he throws a slant to him and there's nothing you can do about it. They don't have that luxury any longer. I'm anxious to see what Hurts does this year because he has the longest time from snap to throw in the league. And if that offensive line lets up even the slightest, he's going to struggle because he's a quarterback that takes a long time to process. I'm really anxious to see how all of this kind of fits together for them. And you know, Philadelphia is one of those towns where if you don't win, like their expectations are extremely high, as they should be. They've been a really good team, one of the best teams in the league for the last 4 years. So the first sight of trouble, this is a guy in Sirianni who's been to the Super Bowl twice in the last 3 years, or 4 years now, I believe it is. And if they get off to a slow start, if they struggle, you're going to hear them talking crazy about firing this man and all kinds of nonsense. And so it's going to be really interesting this offseason. And not to mention Eagles not giving Jalen Hurts the extension. We heard all of the noise this offseason. They put out a public shot at Hurts. The organization put out a public shot at Hurts, essentially calling him out and letting him know, we're not giving you this extension. We want to see more from you. You can't have all of these weapons that we've provided you with, and you be one of
23rd?
the least productive quarterbacks in the league. You can't have, average bottom third of the league in passing yards per game, etc. They want more from Hurts. He heard it loud and clear. And I'm anxious to see how all of this comes together, because the key to their offense is Saquon Barkley. We saw it last year.
Yeah.
When you don't have Saquon Barkley playing at that all-pro level, and even before Saquon got there, Miles Sanders or DeAndre Swift, these were guys that played at a high level. They had a prolific run game every year around Hurts, where he didn't have to really carry the load. Last year, the run game was neutralized enough. It was still dynamic at times, but it was neutralized enough to where Hurts in the pass game had to be take more of center stage, and they weren't able to do that. And I always look at games like that Chargers game last year, where you force Hurts to have to do more. The end result isn't good. And the last time the Eagles put a lot on Hurts' shoulders in a season and forced him to throw it, he had the most interceptions in the league that season. Okay, so again, I'm anxious to see what happens in Philadelphia this year. Then you got Speed Racer over there doing a $136 the other day. So, I mean, there's a lot going on in Philadelphia.
So Leo, tell me, you got a rebuttal, and then I want to hear from Dash and Tag.
Well, let me read the super chat real quick.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill left the Chiefs, and everyone wrote them off. AJ lost.
Yeah.
It happens. Not a big deal. Don't cash your checks against Jalen. He's been in 2 Super Bowls.
Did he just compare Jalen Hurts to Patrick Mahomes?
He did.
Did he just do it? Okay.
Again,
I was just checking. I
guys,
thought
you
I was
can get
tripping.
in here. It's just
Okay.
free for
All
all.
right.
Okay.
I was just checking.
No. I hear you, bro. Yeah.
Just making sure I wasn't hearing things.
Go ahead, Leo. Come on, brother.
Okay.
Are you gonna respond to any of that, brother?
Well, here's the thing. One of the things that I find to be
A lot of facts there.
A
lot of facts. I'll play with
not about football.
Oh, come on now.
There was a lot of soap opera stuff, and the one thing we get to do is we get to have a bit of a supreme confidence in the kind of organization that we have and have had. Like I said, you could talk to me about your team and your offense or your defense, and again, like I said, I brought the guys out so you guys can put an address on it all. But I take the Pepsi challenge against all of it, including whatever it is that LT thinks, because at the end of the day, y'all gonna get fucked up on week 1. I'm sorry.
We looking forward to it. We looking forward to coming up to the link, bro.
I'm sorry, man, but
I'm
still stuck
of the three stadiums in the division, it's the least threatening of the 3. I'm looking forward to coming up to the link in week 1.
Yeah, but see, you know what the difference between me and you is? I've not once said anxious. You said anxious.
We looking forward to it. We're anxious. We're
Or
we're chomping at the bit.
It sounds more like scared. But it's okay.
Scared of what?
Hey,
scared of
55?
what?
I mean, come on, bro. I mean, like,
scared of what?
What are we doing? All you can do, again, hey, here we go. Look at these guys.
I'm looking at it. None of that scares anybody. There's no AJ Brown on that list. There's no AJ Brown on that list. That's the guy. That's the guy.
Brown.
He's no longer there. Yeah,
And-
that's the guy.
And
So we supposed to be afraid of Dontavian Wicks? Is that what you're telling us?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
I'm most
Okay.
certainly
I'm
not.
just making sure.
No, I'm most certainly not telling you what you need to be scared of.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you that this is the product that we're fielding.
Okay.
That's bottom line.
That looks a
Regardless of how you
lot.
may feel-
That looks a lot like last year, except there's no AJ Brown, and the product last year was ass.
Okay.
So if
And
you're
it
saying
looks a lot
exactly,
like
then
but
that's
it
a
does
great
look a lot
thing for
like
the rest of the division.
It does look a lot like the year before and the year before that too.
Yeah,
See,
that's
you
why
know,
I was telling
there
him
are a lot of things. There are a lot of
Get in
aspects.
here,
I think
Dash.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
we like to hold
We're gonna
down, but
see.
it's cool.
I
We're gonna see what Sean.
this is
We're gonna
ice.
see what.
Listen,
we're
man.
gonna
Hey,
see-
look. You go ahead and chase the. You could go ahead and chase the rumors and the speeding tickets and all that stuff. That's
That's
great.
not a rumor.
If that was
that's not-
Dallas, come on, you know that would have been.
That's
Here
not,
we go.
It's not a
again.
rumor.
Thing, though, like,
It's not a
look,
rumor.
that which is why I'm saying, like, I'm
Tag,
just
you
sitting
know I'm
here,
right, Mike.
listening, and it's all
Absolutely.
If
You'd
it
be
was
right.
Dallas, they got a. If it
you
was,
know, I mean,
Pickens
you know that
driving a
offensive
buck
line isn't.
37.
You're touting that offensive line like it's back in the day offensive line. That offensive line is not what it was. It's
At
been
all.
dealing with injuries. They're older. They're banged up. It's a game of attrition, and they're not going to last a full season. You know that. I mean,
okay. Well, let's get it clear. I'm not touting anything. Like I said, I just said.
well, you said I'm showing you what you
Yeah,
guys got to
that's
deal with, and I'm
dangerous.
telling you.
No, I didn't say that.
I don't.
Yes, you
that
did
don't
say
scare
that.
me.
I
That
didn't
doesn't scare me.
No, I
Now,
said
you're probably going to beat Washington. I'll give you that if you want to do that. I think you're going to beat them week one. You're at home, but
Mhm.
that lineup isn't.
Louis ain't,
it ain't scaring me
conceding
none.
that.
and
don't
that,
see anything
but-
at all.
But again, you know, from
We go in the middle.
I am talking to Cowboys fans and Commander fans. You know, what are we doing? You're from the
What you
late.
doing?
You know, your way of thinking is from the late 1900s. You know.
Oh,
and
you got here we go. You finally do
Take the
something, but
gloves
you
off.
know what you guys haven't been able to do? You
Oh.
haven't been able to be a dynasty. It's one and done. That's what you guys do. You had your
been
little
waiting to
run
say
with
that, haven't you?
McNabb, and
That's
you got
too prepared.
destroyed in the
Are you
championship
listening
game
to
every
understand,
single
or are you
year.
listening
You
to
had
respond?
one Super Bowl, then you lose, and then you win one, and you don't see anything. And
It's
so
to
don't
respond.
talk like you're a
I can't say
dynasty.
nothing
You can
about
say
that.
what you want about
It's
the
to
Cowboys,
respond.
but when we go,
Ooh.
we win, and we win in multiple fashions with our teams. We did it
Ooh.
in the 70s, way back in the day, right? We did it in the 90s.
Ooh.
Where's your dynasty? Give me your dynasty.
Oh,
Where is it?
First of all, that sounded like it came from down deep. So that was something that you're listening to respond rather than to understand.
Well,
And so
you're- hey,
wait,
just ask.
hold on. Please allow me to complete the thought, like I did.
I'll
for
allow
you.
you to retort.
I just asked them, please allow me to complete the thought. That's all I'm saying. You know, and so for me, whatever it is, whatever vibe you catching off of me, that's obviously got you disturbed. You know what I'm saying? I can't help that. But what I am telling you is that when it comes to rumor mill, who's here, who's not here, and everything like that, I can't begin to empathize with that at this point. So that's all you're getting from me. Now you can not like it or whatever, but like I said, this is the product that we're fielding. So as of right now, for now, I don't know. You know, the things that I don't know about is, you know, I'm excited because, you know, this whole thing with Sean Mannion and what we got, I don't deny any of that. But like I said, this is a Ferrari, and you can say what you want. I don't care if you don't like it. I don't care.
Hey,
if you
that
don't-
offense ain't a Ferrari. Hey,
Yeah,
defense
hey,
is
listen.
good. I give you that. I'm going to give you your defense.
The
That
offense is
ain't a
like,
Ferrari.
It's F-150.
Hey,
don't know.
we got
There's a lot of hope
we got
for prayers,
different
but I got
definitions of a
It's
Ferrari.
F-150.
We definitely got different definitions of a Ferrari for sure.
Well, you guys are old. So I mean, well, we're old. I don't know what it is now, but there's a lot of things that you guys got. You still aren't even fully over.
who we talking about? Commanders? Is that what we talking about?
I
Probably figured that out.
don't really know what he's referring to, but at the end of the day, even with how banged up our offense was, it was still light years better than the Eagles' offense last year. So if that's a Ferrari, I'm glad to see that Ferrari barely making it down the street.
I got a real question though.
You keep
Well, go
talking
ahead,
about a
Dash. Go
ahead,
Ferrari.
Dash. Get in here, bro.
I do have a real
Spinning a
question
block
for
with
Leo.
that or something.
Yes, sir.
Because every time I speak to Philadelphia fans, it's all
Mhm.
about what have you done for me lately type of deal.
Mm.
And the last time you guys stepped on the field or had a season, you guys didn't live up to the hype, right? You didn't live up to the hype.
You talking about
Y'all
last?
talked, y'all. Everybody tweeted saying thank you for Saquon Barkley, and then you realize once you guys didn't have a running game, what happens? Louis pointed that out. And then when it comes to your offensive line, right? You got Lane Johnson, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, retirement. You got Dickerson with the bad back. You got Mailata, who had a down season last year too. So you talk about protecting Hurts, and Louis also pointed out again processing. You lose your 50-50 ball guy, right? Possibly. But AJ Brown is still an Eagle. You look at these wide receivers, Smith, Lemon, and Wicks. What they do, how they affect games. It does not match what Hurts does as far as attacking the center of the field. So what are we going to do? I do like Goddard still. I think he has a lot left still in the tank. He is a safety valve for Hurts. But I think the rest of the division, and we can argue about the rest of the division too. We built teams to compete with the Philadelphia Eagles, I believe. I believe
so,
Indeed.
yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And it's about when Hurts. The thing, Hurts is nice. I'm an Alabama fan, so I do have a soft spot for Hurts until he got to Philly. But we know there's certain things that he likes to do, and once you take those things away, like having athletic linebackers that can spy, having a defense like we're going to run a press zone defense, and we're not turning our backs on Hurts so he can take off and scramble for those runs too. So what is he going to do when the pressure's on? And that's how the Giants treated this offseason. We kept Kayvon Thibodeau. We have a rotation. Yes, we lost Dexter Lawrence, but we brought in nose tackles that act like regular nose tackles. Like Dexter was special for a nose tackle. Now we got guys that can, gap assignment, make sure the linebackers move freely. And I think that's what's going to affect Jalen Hurts the most is those throwing lanes might not be there, and also those being able to escape out the back door probably won't be there for him either. So what is he going to do after that? Because I have not seen him. And again, he played fantastic in that last Super Bowl. All of his Super Bowl appearances actually played pretty well in.
He did.
But when it comes to the regular season, though, you can see a lot of those flaws. But he, like I said, when the rubber meets the road, I've seen him perform. But in the regular season, he might be fooled this year. The whole team might be fooled. You presented a plate with those pictures of those guys, man, and we might have to eat.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
I got the napkin tucked in right now. The napkin tucked in. Got the utensils ready.
Whenever I'm asked those type of questions, and I think you brought up some really good points, because I'll say this: a lot of those points is exactly the question marks the same questions we have going into this season. And the reason why I say it that way is because when I get these kinds of questions, I'm always, the first thing I want to know is, well, which Hurts are you talking about? Are you talking about the Doug Peterson Hurts? Are you talking about the Shane Steichen Hurts? Are you talking about the Kellen Moore Hurts? Are you talking about the Brian Johnson Hurts? Or Kevin Patullo Hurts? Which one are you talking about? Because
all the same Hurts.
Again, because the thing about it is that they all, again, he's going, like you said, going into his 7th offense in 7 years, and even different going if you add the college years. So those questions in terms of the shortcomings and everything like that, I believe, I get the sense, particularly after having listened to Sean Mannion's press conference today, I believe that those exact bullet points that you thought are shortcomings, I believe will be addressed. I think this is the staff that'll get it done. Of course, like there's an evolution, because I think we started doing when we had AJ, it was 1A and 1B with him and Devontae. Now I feel like we have a wide receiver 1, a clear wide receiver 2, and a wide receiver 3. But then when you think about from a depth perspective in that wide receiver room, now you got to, bring up, Elijah Hollywood Brown, you got Darius Cooper, you got Johnny Wilson coming back. You have, I'm missing somebody, Elijah Moore.
Moore. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are guys. So I'm excited about those questions being answered to see what kind of product Sean Mannion actually feels to address those.
This is my thing, and I'll let Phil get his question. This is my thing that since we're on the Eagles, right? Like we talk about Washington, well, they got question marks, right? We talk about Dallas, we got question marks about the defense. You talk about the Giants, we got question marks. All I'm saying is I think the Eagles have just as many question marks. They may have a higher floor than everybody, and I know just because you change the offense every year, it seems, doesn't mean it's right to change the offense every year.
It's been a complaint of ours too. Like it's not like,
but I mean, I'm not
presenting that as a secret sauce. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just putting it out there that's why I'm excited as a Cowboy fan, as an NFC East as a whole. I'm excited because I get it. Eagles won the division, But don't they have questions, Louis? Mike Tag. I mean, doesn't the Eagles have big time question marks, just like every other team in the division? I think they do. This is not the Eagles of a few years ago. They have serious questions.
I want to say something too.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, you talked about which Jalen Hurts you're gonna get. There's only two Jalen Hurts to me. Is before AJ Brown and after AJ Brown, and then what's going to look like after AJ Brown again. And then also again, your offense, all these switchings with the OCs. The staple was Stoutland. You build a wall in front of your quarterback.
Yeah.
And you can succeed in a lot of different offenses if you have that wall in
now,
front
let
of
me
you.
ask you this, the Big Dash. You brought it up. Within the playoff game, without AJ against Tampa, they rolled. Now, was it just because of who they played? That was a situation where AJ was in Atlantic City playing cards. That's true. He may have been banged up, but he was an AC, and he wasn't. And yet their offense didn't really miss a beat. Is that a one-off, Dash, or do you think they're going to struggle? I think obviously AJ is AJ Brown, right? That's who everybody he circles, right?
You look at the sample size, right? That was a game where he didn't show up, right? But we've seen a whole season where he did show up. And yes, like I said, Hurts is not a bum. Like I'm not trying to say he's a bum or anything like that. He's a Super Bowl winning champion. He's a Super Bowl MVP champion.
MVP, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day, he can play ball. It's not, but there's real deficiencies in his game that if he doesn't address them, they're going to be absolutely on display this year. Just because I believe the rest of the division, not saying that everybody caught up to the Eagles, I'm just saying the Eagles, not only did the rest of the division get better, I'll say that we got better. We had games that have not been played yet, but also the Eagles look like they're starting to fold a little bit. And I do appreciate you guys doing what you were supposed to do when the rest of the division was ass, to say that. You guys went out there and won the Super Bowl. You guys
I was shocked, Louis, that you guys finished last in defense. I mean, like when you look at it, Eagles won a division, and I'm not trying to troll here. You won a division with the 30th, the 28th, and the 32nd ranked defenses. Think about that. It was horrible. I think the Commandos were last, right? I think Dallas ended up 30th, and I think that the Giants ended up 28th in total defense. They all should be better this year. That's why I think question marks. I think it's anybody's division. I understand what we're saying about the Giants, but shit, I don't know. I mean, a couple injuries.
It's all question marks. Man.
You know what I mean? But that's exciting, isn't it? It's like wide open to me.
I mean, for me, I'm in the bottom. I'm in the basement.
Yeah.
And all I can rely on is I got a better coach, better coaches, and hopefully they can chef it up.
I feel that way with my defense. Dash is I don't care what anybody says. People go, "Oh, well, you're hoping that Christian Parker." I'm pretty sure they're going to be better than last year. Anybody going to argue me that they're not going to be better than last year?
Got horses, man.
I don't know how good we're going to be, but I don't think we need to be that much better.
You're chasing the ghost of Micah Parsons, and you'll never catch it. You'll never catch it. Bro.
What's interesting is that
what
y'all
were we
went to
ranked
the
there?
defense that he would have thrived in the 3-4.
Yeah.
After he's gone.
So yeah, let me jump in here now with my thoughts on with the Eagles. I'm not one of those ones where I think the deterioration. I think it really depends on coaching this year. I think one thing that the Eagles have been really good about is getting depth onto their team. Now, some of it's obviously question mark, but you have that on every single team. I mean, you want guys with potential. You're drafting a 7-foot dude that hey, well, he may not be able to block, but at least he can stand there. And so that's pretty big. I mean, that's pretty big. I mean, we had a guy named Chaz Green. He couldn't even just stand there. He just had his days. But when I look at this team, I think when you look throughout, you could probably name every single position and name a little bit of depth there that they have that has potential to replace some of that stuff. So I'm interested to see how it goes. I think when you're looking at offense, if you're going to look at a new coordinator, I think that's the place to be. I mean, what better chance than a guy that played offense than to figure it out? I think as an ex-quarterback or any of that stuff, I think you have that ability and tool to be able to call it. Now, are you a situational person? I think those are always kind of question marks. There's always coaches that I've seen that, oh, they're great at calling plays. They got amazing game plans. But then when a fourth down in this particular play, because this guy's having a thing, can you adjust your defense? I think that's always going to be the job. Can you adjust your offense if something's not going right? I I think that that offense, it's kind of being more tailored to what Jalen Hurts kind of does. And I'm not a Jalen Hurts fan at all, but I think what you do is at least you get a guy that goes across the middle, can get open and it was showing it in college and Lemon, and that's what
I
you can
brought
do.
this
I mean,
up
you
the other
got
day,
guys.
Phil. I
Can,
know
I-
you
can I
hate.
can I say something
Yeah,
about that?
yeah. Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna set you up. I'm gonna set you up. That's why I'm gonna
Yeah,
set you
well,
up. With
just
the thing.
real quick, so Louis knows and Dash knows. I don't know if Mike Tag knows, but Phil played quarterback at Oregon. So when we talk
Yeah, I was
about,
a backup of a backup of a
but
backup.
still,
Just-
stop. But you were
You know the position, yeah.
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 So I always
Still
lean to
D1.
him when he talks about, because we always talk about Jalen and about his ineffectiveness over the middle of the field. Right.
Right.
I think it's well documented. He doesn't like supposedly lining up under center, right, Phil? But Phil, real quick before we go to Leo, what did you say about Jalen lining up at center? What will that do for him that maybe he doesn't even know?
Well, I mean, any quarterback as well. You know, if you know the play and you know how the defense is lined up. Obviously, people can dart from one place to another, but the fact that you're taking steps, you're allowing the offense to actually develop. And so
rhythm,
by the
right?
time, yeah, you're allowing things to kind of open up. So by the time you actually do look at the defense, boom, you're reading what the defense is giving you. Oh, they showed you this before the snap. That doesn't mean it's shit by the time it starts going. And if you have receivers that can go across and just get open, you remember I've seen those ones that are very slippery, and you got two very slippery wide receivers there that can definitely get open for him. My question to you, and this is kind of where you can lead off into your receivers as well too. As AJ, we don't know what's going on, so you got to assume that he's staying until I see differently. I think that's just how it is. That's how the NFL plays out. You know, we just saw obviously Crosby get traded, and then 2 days or 3 days later, you had buyer's remorse, and then all of a sudden it went out the window.
Yeah.
But when you look at let's say the potential if he does walk away, what do you think about Smith getting double teamed now as the game plan going forward? Do you think he would be able to handle that where he wasn't getting my kind of coverage with AJ being in the lineup?
If you're going to double team Devontae Smith, and understand, it's not like we've never seen him as a wide receiver one. His rookie year, he was the wide receiver one. So it's not like we've never seen that before. And I do believe, given his resume as of his fifth or sixth year in the league, this is his sixth year in the league. I do believe that he's proven himself to be a competent wide receiver to be able to handle being double teamed. So I have confidence in his ability to do that. But I welcome that because after having listened to, Sean Mannion today and some of the other position coaches, I'm like, oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, double team them. Yeah, do that. Because I believe these other two guys we got, somebody going to eat. And if you're going to do that, then that might open up the game for Saquon, or what about Dallas? What about, if we had, guys that you don't see, like
Stowers,
Eli
possibly.
Stewart. Yeah, like Stowers and stuff like that, And I watched his press conference. Just a side note, I watched his press conference, and now I understand what Jordan Davis's message to the team was that no, it's not fake, it's real. He's really like that. I get it, because you gotta experience the guy, you know what I'm saying? But he seems like a good kid. I understand why Jordan Davis would want his sons to be just like him. That being said, the other thing too, which I think is important, is that again, looking at this coaching staff, this new offensive coaching staff that's coming in, one of the things that always stood out to me was there seems to be a lot of redundancy here. There's a number of you have more than, I think you got 3 guys who at one time were offensive coordinators, absent the head coach. And then you got you can't replace a Jeff Stoutland. But when I look at Chris Cooper and I look at his work in Minnesota, coming from that, I believe that, okay, he seems to be competent enough to be able to take this group of guys and work with them, particularly after listening to the way Sean Mannion talked about the O-line. And as a former quarterback, I think that he's someone that appreciates the ability of these guys. And again, I preferenced everything when I first started talking with understanding that these guys are coming off of the longest rest that they've had in the last 3 years. And that's big for these guys, But then again, at the same time, some of the guys that were in question, their replacements have been
That means
identified
Dallas
and are
should
being
be
developed.
formidable.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm just saying,
I hear you,
like
brother. I
here
hear you.
how I arrived at the conclusions that I arrived with when it comes to this offensive coaching staff. Because to me, listening to Mannion, he sounds like an educator. The only reason why I say that is because I live with one.
My thing is
Okay?
this.
I'm married. Wait, let
Yeah.
me finish. I'm married to one. And they have mannerisms and the way that they talk that tells you that they're teachers. And to me, it just seems like what Howie and Nick Sirianni put together seems more like a think tank than it does a coaching staff. And you're talking about the OC who was a former quarterback who has a complement of weaponry absent AJ Brown. That's still, like, oh wow, looks like he can't wait to get his hands on it. Now, and as a former quarterback, I think he would have an appreciation for a very good run game. If you look at Saquon, and then you got Tank Bisbee, and then we got Pierce from Houston, and then we got Will Shipley. So, again, the things that this man is inheriting, as a former quarterback, I think he would actually appreciate being able to, have these guys, particularly the veteran help. Now, again, like I said, you can't replace a Jeff Stoutland, but with Chris Cooper, okay, he's at least he seems to me to be competent enough to be able to know what he's doing when it comes to these guys, and it would probably be of help to have so much veteran.
Now, do we think
veteran.
as a group, and no particular, anybody could hop in here, do we think that Jalen can just totally change how he's played football and be ready to go this year? Mike, Lee, I mean,
No.
that's my
He is
fear,
what he is. He's a
Leo,
good
is that
quarterback.
Jalen's going to struggle.
He's not
If you
changing
listen
what
to
he
the
is.
question, it was a bit loaded because you said totally change. I don't think he needs to totally
Yeah,
change.
I did see that today where they said that he's not going to. I don't know how you see. This is my problem. I don't know how when you go to West Coast Concepts that you don't go to West Coast Concepts. There's really not there's really no medium there. Aren't we changing the offense? I mean, I don't know what he's trying to do, man. And he needs to come in with his system, right? Or is he going to cater it to Jalen? And I'll get to everybody, but what we were wondering with Kellen was Kellen going to try and shove a Dak offense down Jalen's throat? He did not, but it was nowhere near West Coast principles. This guy's bringing in West Coast principles. It's going to be a shock, right, Mike? And then Louis?
Well,
Yeah, I think he is what, the coordinator should adapt the offense to the skills of the quarterback. If you're going to try and put a square peg in a round hole, good luck. But I mean, to me, the offense for the Eagles, they're going to live and die with Saquon. If Saquon is what he was last year, they're going to be in trouble. If he is what he is 2 years ago, they're going to be dangerous.
Now, what are the odds, Mike? What do the odds tell you?
No, he's going to be worse.
Right. And it's nothing against Saquon. It's
just the nature of the beast.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Leo.
That's all.
Well, no, it's just like reality.
I mean,
of
it's
the
a
NFL.
fact. I mean, tell me where it's different outside of Derrick Henry, who's just an unbelievable,
You know what's interesting? One thing I've always said, the one thing I don't do is I don't pretend like I don't know who people are and haven't shown me something. And my thing is, this man is going into his seventh offense. What is it about him that would make you think that he's going to have a hard time picking up a new offense? He hasn't, in the 6 offenses prior, he's not missed the playoffs except for once. And then,
That's a good point.
has been to 2 Super Bowls. I'm just saying, like,
he's a great game manager. I mean, he's a great game manager, and there's no problem with that.
Once again, that too. What is it like? Listen, Wink Martindale said he's never had a quarterback who actually called him and asked him to scout him. You hear from other coaches that say, there was one coach well, now we know it's Kevin Patullo, in my opinion, but one coach said he was uncoachable, but yet this man has been working his butt off to try and get himself ready for this year. So again,
so let me ask you a question then.
Sure.
So this is your team. This is your quarterback.
Absolutely.
What are his weaknesses, in your opinion?
in my opinion, what are Jalen Hurts' weaknesses?
Yeah.
Haven't been able to play under center, not playing under center enough. Again, throwing in the middle, like everyone else has said. We haven't seen that. We have not seen Jalen Hurts in the same offense more than 1 year, which is big, and that's it that I can think of offhand.
So if we're talking about a true West Coast offense, and it might not be a true West Coast offense.
That's the thing. We don't know. That's the thing. Because
Right.
Dash, and I'm with you, his inability to risk the ball over the middle of the field, right? Like, what do you see? You see these like great runs, like elusive quarterback handing the ball off and taking deep shots. He throws a great deep ball, but the inability to want to stuff the ball over the middle of the field, which is what the West Coast offense, right? Dash
timing
is.
and also timing.
Well, that's exactly what.
It'll be interesting, Leo. That's all I'm saying. It's going to be interesting.
Here's the thing. Every point that I've heard so far was addressed today in today's press conference. Right? You saw it, right, Ron?
As they should.
So we'll see.
That's what I mean.
They did the same thing for Dart today, though.
Yeah.
When they talk about Dart and Dart's weaknesses.
This is the season of optimism, right?
Go
ahead, Louis.
Jalen Hurts.
What about him?
Go ahead, Louis. Get in there, buddy.
I saw what happened prime time and who outplayed who.
Give me Jackson
Thursday
Dart's.
night.
Give me Jackson Dart's NFC Championship stats. Give me Jackson Dart's multiple Super Bowl stats.
Hey, you're gonna have to wait to
we don't have them.
2027.
So again, we're not
gonna have to wait to 2027.
We're not talking the same thing, Dash. I'm sorry, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry.
What have you done for me lately?
You know what I'm saying?
You got somebody on the rides and somebody
Louis T can give me JD's NFC Championship stats.
Okay.
Just saying. We could talk regular season all day, but as soon as we start talking about
games.
playoffs.
The man played 12 games.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
12 games. And then one of his best games
but you don't have them. But
his
so the
best
answer
game
is
was against y'all.
the answer is I don't have them, right?
Ask Zach Bond about it.
No, I'm saying when I asked you for his
Ask Zach Bond about it.
When I asked you for his NFC Championship stats and his Super Bowl or multiple Super Bowl stats, the answer is I don't have those, right? Then we're not talking the same thing. We don't have the same.
But what did
they fall back?
So what did you do last year? The same as us?
No. Again, I asked you for the answer is I don't have the stats, right? You don't have them, right?
But what was the question?
All I'm asking is do you have those stats? Yes or no?
How would I have those stats if we haven't been to the playoffs
so the answer is no. So that's all. We're not talking the same thing. We're not.
You clearly not. What I see is
frame it how you want, bro. But I can tell you right now, if you ain't data,
but that's
Yeah, Louis, get in there.
That's
bro.
easy though.
That's
easy.
Data.
Build. I can.
But that's easy for you to say because
yes,
that's just
it is,
convenient.
because it's true. Yes.
But it's convenient. And listen, I
playoffs and multiple
I have to
Super Bowls
concede
is
that
convenient.
I have to no, I'm saying the Giants have been bad. I have to concede that.
But we're not having the
my
same
whole point is this: the last time you saw this man play against your team, what happened?
You lost.
Well, we beat y'all 34-17. Y'all beat us 34-17.
Yeah.
But I'm saying as far as performances go.
I'm sorry.
But as far as performances though, we've seen Jackson Dart play against the Eagles, and he made it look very, very easy.
Yes,
so
he did. Yes, he did.
So for you to throw out your go-to is, well, show me his NFC conference stats. The man is a rookie. He hasn't been there yet. So once he gets there, then we can have this conversation. But it's convenient for you to say that because it's a checkmate.
The answer is I don't have
I get it.
So at the end of the day,
but it's weak.
The answer is still the same. You don't have.
But it's weak. It's weak to go to.
But the answer is you don't have them.
I like
give me Saquon Barkley stats last year. Give me Saquon Barkley stats last year.
1,100 yards on the ground. I think he had 700 yards received or 500 yards received.
How did he do in the playoffs?
He won. He has a Super Bowl. Don't you know?
Always living in the past.
2020, 2025?
Always living in the past.
2025?
You asked me how you doing.
How did he do last year? They always tell me, last year doesn't matter. That's what Eagles fans tell me.
No,
last year doesn't matter.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. For someone coming off of a 2,500 yard season the year before, to get 1,100 yards on the ground is remarkable. Right. But especially playing behind a banged up O-line like we had.
Keep going.
You know what I'm saying? I think.
And what's up with that line this year?
You just told me the offensive line is great.
Yeah.
What happened to that?
Wait a minute. We just said he just asked me about 25. So you're changing it?
25 was last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So what I don't know.
Oh,
what
they're,
And
they're
what
getting a
Mike
lot
was
better.
saying
They're
is
getting
that
a lot better
you're-
this year. They're going to be
that's
better
the-
this year as they're a year older. I got it.
no. Hey, Dash, I think he got your question wrong, and I don't want to be the one to correct him. He
no.
got it wrong.
I think what he was saying is that the way you presented your offensive line, right? You're saying that last year it was banged up offensive line, and he's saying, okay, so it's 2026 now. That offensive line is the same offensive line.
Hey, bro, look what's written above the picture. The projected 2026 offense.
Yeah.
I think that's your best squad.
No. Wait a minute. That's what I presented. Your question was about 2025. So my opinion about 2025 was we had a banged up offensive line last year.
Mhm.
But like what Mike Tag is trying to gig me on is what I'm talking about this year. That's two different things, bro. That's why I said, yo, Dash, I think you need to correct your man's because he got the question wrong.
He don't need to correct me. You said the 26. You're touting your 26 offensive line. They were shitty.
And the question was about 25.
You're the one who said they were shitty.
And the
Saquon
question,
Barkley averaged
Mike,
almost 2 less yards per carry.
Hey,
you're touting
yo,
them up
yo,
4
Dash,
yards a carry.
Dash,
That's
you gonna
great.
get him?
That's great.
See?
Why are you telling me to get him?
Because
I just met him today.
25. You asked, he's not. Yo,
No, okay. No, I'm saying, okay, so let me just explain it then. We were talking about 25, right?
Right.
We were
Right.
talking about
Yeah.
25, the offensive line, and you made a
Right.
statement saying that the offensive line was banged up. Mike was
No,
not referring to.
Wait. The question was, what about Saquon last year in 25?
Yeah,
right?
and you said that he ran behind
So
the banged
every
up
time
line.
my answer was all about 25.
Yeah. But what Mike did was he wasn't even talking about the Saquon Barkley 2025. He brought it back to a point where you said this is your offensive line.
Thank
This
you,
is your offensive line going into
He said
2026.
no. You said you were touting your
Right.
offensive line. Yeah, I'm touting the 2026 offensive
Yeah,
line.
that was crappy in 25. All of a sudden, they're getting better.
No, they were banged. Yeah, look,
But
man, they were banged
that's
up.
what you're
crappy, however
saying,
you wanna
Leo. You
say
can't
it,
have
but
it
I'm
both
just-
ways, you know?
Say what?
You can't have it both ways.
It's two different things, though.
Wait,
Leo,
hold on.
It's
Wait,
two different things.
his question was, what about Saquon Barkley in 2025? How was he? And I said,
Okay.
I think someone who's coming who came off of the year before having 2,500 yards, he got 1,100 yards on the ground and something like 400 or 500 yards receiving. For someone who came off of that the year before in 2025, I think that's pretty good.
Well, and,
Despite-
you
in
added
fact,
against with a banged up
with a
offensive
yeah
line.
in
That's the key.
2025.
That was the
He
key,
had-
key point of it.
The question was, how was Saquon in 2025 to accomplish what he accomplished with a banged up offensive line in 2025? I thought was pretty good.
Let me bang
now.
Let me bang through some of these super chats,
What I
Leo.
touted at the beginning of this conversation was the
Did you get 'em,
2026
Phil?
line, who's coming
No,
into
go
this
ahead.
year
Go ahead.
healthy.
Leo,
Go
let me
ahead.
That's
grab
what
this
I
real
was
quick.
talking about.
Leo, let me grab this real quick.
I'm
Just
sorry,
wanted
bro.
to remind Louis, 55 on your head.
Right.
Yeah.
Eagles
Yeah.
too, 55 to 22,
Right.
PTSD. Louis, remember that. These are all in the past. Welcome to the clash. May the rivalry live forever. Chris May, thanks, brother. Tell Louis you ain't got to be scared to get your ass beat. Linda Conyers.
Hey, that's a. She stole my line, man.
Bobby Smurder, don't raise your voice unless you've won in this century. Mike and Louie love the passion, but stay humble. Hit the like button. Dirty Sanchez, Leo looks like a baby down there with Down syndrome. Oh, here we go. Come on, Dirty Sanchez. But anyway, Louie, respond to the people.
I mean, honestly, going back to the Hurts conversation, the biggest thing for me with Hurts is, and I second what Mike said about the run game. That's one of the points that I made at the beginning, is that if the run game, when you play the Philadelphia Eagles, the first thing that you go into defensive game planning to stop their offense is, how do we stop Saquon Barkley? Because that is the head of the snake.
You
If
would know.
you cut off the head, exactly. You cut off the head, the rest of the body will die. And because Saquon Barkley is such a huge part of their offense, until the pass game is able to either equal to or supplant that run game as the catalyst that drives that offense, that's going to be the way that teams defend Philadelphia. And Hurts is going to have to consistently. We've seen him in moments. We've seen him in specific playoff games. We've seen him in the Super Bowl in particular play really well. But we've also seen where teams have taken away the run game, and
In
he
the Super
hasn't
Bowl,
been.
like they did in the Super Bowl. And
And
how'd that
well, yeah,
work out?
yeah. And
And how'd that
well,
work
the
out?
Super Bowl was a really interesting game because he didn't play well early. He didn't play well early. And it was the Eagles defense that was able to force turnovers and give him the ball back multiple times, including scoring on their own, that absolutely gave him the confidence to then play the way that he did really in the second half. Because if you look at that game, you watch that game was close early on. They weren't playing well offensively. You had the OPI on AJ Brown that negated the one drive. They weren't really playing all that well. But he played his ass off in the second half of that game. He was awesome in the first Super Bowl against Kansas City. But you look, there's a number of postseason games where he didn't play well. He didn't play well against the Rams. Okay. He didn't play well in the Green Bay game. He didn't play well.
Did they win?
Yeah, yeah. I love how it's convenient to bring up if they won or not when he doesn't play well, but when he plays well, you like to highlight that. You can't do both. Either we're talking about Hurts, we're not talking about the team. We're talking about Hurts. That's the conversation. We're not talking about did the team win. We're talking about Jalen Hurts and his play.
So what was Jalen Hurts' stat at the end of the Super Bowl?
We're not talking about just the Super Bowl. You keep going back to the Super Bowl. Is that all you have? Is that all you got?
Wait a minute. If we're going, if we're going off of the markers you just gave, what happens if they take the run game away and you force Jalen to have to throw? And the most recent example we have of that is
San Francisco in the playoffs. What did he do in that game?
He lost.
Okay.
He didn't do well.
That's the most recent example we have, not the Super Bowl. That's not the last game you guys played in. We've heard rumors, right, that he's a hard guy to call plays for and that he likes certain calls. He likes certain things to be done. We don't know what's true, what's not true, all right? We just know that with certain coordinators, he's looked really good, and with certain coordinators, he hasn't. Is this going to be one of the coordinators that he looks really good with? And to Dash's point, and I brought this up earlier, this is going to be the first time he's going to be asked to look good, even if the coordinator is really good, without A.J. Brown. And you brought up Smitty as a number one, and my rebuttal to that is, and I think Smitty is capable of being a low-level one, all right? But I think he's better starring as a number two. He's one of the best number twos in the NFL.
Facts.
You put him as a one, and we got questions, right? Especially when the other two guys, and I think
You've never seen it before?
I've seen it before, and when we saw it, the Eagles saw it too, and you know what they did? They went and got A.J. Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna see what Smitty as a true number one looks like.
So regardless, if there was a type of play that he had, like in your opinion, what a true number one would be, then you don't think Howie would have made a play to go get AJ?
You said no. If they thought he was a elite number one wide receiver, they would not have gone out and gotten AJ Brown. No, I don't believe that.
Okay, that's where we kind of differ, because again, we're talking about Howie Roseman,
And you're not wrong about that.
And if this man has an opportunity to make the team better, it doesn't matter.
I mean, right now there are rumors.
And the only reason why I say that is because, look, we didn't think we needed another quarterback when we had Carson, but we did it anyway.
So why not keep him?
But you went out and got another quarterback, not because you thought Carson Wentz wasn't good. You needed an insurance policy. Carson Wentz had gotten hurt to end 2 consecutive seasons.
No. Again, as an example of actively looking to make the team better.
Yeah, but that was more of a byproduct of an insurance policy. That wasn't to address Carson Wentz to make the roster better. You needed a backup quarterback. You lost the previous season. Your season ended with 800-year-old, no, not Nick Foles, Josh McCown playing quarterback against the Seattle Seahawks.
No, I'm talking about the quality backup you're talking about. We lost was Nick Foles.
Yeah,
who we ended up
but what I'm referring to is they couldn't keep allowing seasons to end with Carson Wentz on IR and not having someone that could step in and play competent football. Carson Wentz didn't fall apart the next season. Hurts would have never been the starter. That they had already paid Wentz. They thought he was going to be the guy. And you're not wrong about Howie. Howie's always looking to improve. There's a rumor right now that scares everyone shitless. Why? Because we know Howie's capable. Like Brian Thomas Jr. ending up on this Eagles roster could be lethal. No one wants to see that. You move on from AJ and you get Brian Thomas Jr. That to me might ultimately become an upgrade. And no one wants to see that. But that's another example of Howie potentially seeing that. I don't know if Smitty's ready to be the number one, right?
Or it could be I want to make my team better. In theory, yes.
In theory, of course.
So I think with that, I mean, I think we go into the last team as well, because obviously we'll dive deep
Well,
into.
I want to grab the
to each-
super chat real quick. Linda
ahead.
Conyers. There's no Hertz conversation. You guys are voicing your opinion. Hertz said 3 NFC East champ, 2 NFC East champ, 1 Super Bowl,
team.
1 Super Bowl MVP, Pro Bowl, All Pro, Super Bowl legend. Can't debate it.
Can I
Super Bowl
interject
legend.
here?
I mean,
Thank
Trent
you, Linda.
Dilfer, Super Bowl
Yeah.
legend.
I mean, he's had two great.
Hostetler,
He's
Super
had
Bowl
two-
legend. I mean, what are we talking about here?
He had 2 really good performances. Hey, let him live, right? Let him live. Legends a
That
bit strong. I
defense
admit
was
that, Mike.
legendary. Why doesn't no Eagle fan ever give the defense credit for that Super Bowl? That was the best defensive game I've seen in the Super Bowl since like the Bears.
Well, I said
it-
bus
it was
driver, and people
dominating.
took offense. Shit, I need Dak to drive the bus.
No one.
Like he had like 400 yards and was going up and down the field. The
Again,
defense annihilated Patrick Mahomes.
he
Joshua.
clearly outplayed his opponent.
The defense
That's
did.
what you want.
Can
The
we
defense did.
can we
He's
just
Trent Dilfer.
can we acknowledge that
Nothing wrong with that
a,
either.
a lot of the success of Jalen Hurts has been team success?
Absolutely, it's a team sport for sure.
Yeah. So like when someone wants to start throwing out that kind of stuff, like, come on, really, what are we doing here? Stop it. Stop it.
In
Okay.
terms of
The all the stuff that the accolades that she was trying to throw out there, and all of this, that, and the third. Like we
but
get
is
it. Look,
true?
at the end, yeah, those are
super
facts. But the end of the day, these things they're facts, but they are also backed up by a team. As you just mentioned, it's a team sport. If you're not good, if your team's not good, it doesn't matter how well you play, you're not going to receive the accolades.
All right, give me your Operation Blue Skies, okay? And this is for all of you.
Here we go.
Give me your Operation Blue Skies. How should a Eagles fan respond when asked about the Super Bowl and everything like that? Again,
We don't
I-
ask you. You bring it up.
You guys volunteer that information. When we bring up Jalen Hurts, you bring up the Super Bowl because that's your move, right? That's your move. We bring up Hurts and you go straight to the Super Bowl. Like that's your move. You've done it 15 times tonight already.
Okay, so I heard that. Now,
Okay,
I asked, what is your Operation?
Okay.
God, what would you rather hear?
I would rather you tell us what this guy brings to the table, what he does, instead of just telling me he's a winner. There's a lot of quarterbacks in NFL history have been winners.
Mhm.
All right. Troy Aikman was a winner. He also played on an excellent team, but Troy Aikman was a damn good quarterback.
Mhm.
Eli Manning, I don't want to say he was a winner, but he won in the postseason. Eli's best games came in the postseason. I don't think Eli Manning's a Hall of Fame quarterback. I get into it with Giants fans all the time about
Right.
Eli Manning and whether he's a Hall of Fame quarterback or not. He played some excellent postseason games.
Mhm.
He outdueled the undefeated Patriots and Tom Brady, right? Like, that doesn't make Eli Manning this excellent quarterback all of a sudden.
Great.
Okay,
Catching
so
the strays.
all right.
I'm sorry. Eli had to catch something.
Yeah, I'm still trying to. I still like to know, like, what is your Do you know what Operation Blue Skies is? Do you know what I mean when I ask that?
No, we don't
No.
believe in your quarterback. That's the reason why we're not going to give you a
No,
blue
Why
sky
don't
thing.
you explain it to us?
Yeah, your Operation Blue Skies is it's without any other input or whatever. What would be the answer or that you want to hear from an Eagles fan when
It's-
Super
He just said-
Bowl
he
plays?
just-
It's not what we want to hear. It's just acknowledging that Hurts is the best passenger in the NFL right now at the
Okay,
quarterback position.
So
He's
wanna
a
give-
great
you want-
passenger. If you took Jalen Hurts off of the Philadelphia Eagles and you put him on any other team in this division, that team isn't good.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. So what you want to hear is you want an Eagles fan to tell you that Jalen Hurts is the number one the greatest passenger that ever played the quarterback.
And that's not what I said. But he's
No,
a
I'm
great
asking, is
passenger.
that like
He's a really good passenger. He's
Okay.
He
That's
can
your-
he can
that's your
control the radio.
Operation
He
Blue
can
Sky.
control the radio really
Okay.
well.
Okay.
Right?
Good passenger control the radio really well.
He does
That's
a
what
great
you
Hey,
wanna
job.
hear.
Phil, grab the
Dash,
super
what do
chat.
you
for
wanna
me.
hear?
grab,
What do
Phil,
you
grab
wanna
the
hear,
super
Dash?
chat real quick.
Okay,
Yeah. So the one that I see here, I got
Linda, do Linda.
Okay, I got Linda here. Go 80% of your conversation has been about winning quarterback. Let's talk about the damn losers in here. Now that's the conversation.
We're getting there. We're getting there. We're talking about the birds. You guys should
Yeah,
be
yeah.
happy.
Yeah,
Nobody,
yeah.
listen, this wasn't scripted, people. This is what happens when you have a panel. And listen, this is what happens when you win. And we're all looking up at the Eagles. You are the division winners. A lot of us think there's chinks in the armor. Hashtag question mark. There's question marks all up and down. You may have the highest floor coming in, Leo, but we're all sitting back as NFC East teams saying, we can get them. We can get them. And now the Eagles' job is say, not yet.
My whole thing is that when you're talking about these quarterbacks, any of these guys, you're going to have your difference of opinion. And I don't care if you're talking about Dak, Daniel, any of these guys. I think you're going to have this conversation. And these quarterback conversations could last a long time. So I really, I give you credit in the sense of standing there as everybody kind of threw stuff at you. But let's kind of switch it up and go towards Washington because as we've been kind of covering, every single
Leo, you're
team
off the
here.
hot seat for now.
Yeah, and so I kind of want to. Yeah.
You did
that's
well.
what I'm saying.
You did well,
you
bro.
did
You did
very
well.
well. Like, but when we're looking at that, we're talking about all
I
the
got a
offseason
lot
moves.
of questions for Louis, but I want you to get it.
So
Go
I
ahead.
think that's what it is. I think we need to call. How are you feeling about your offseason and what your team has done, not done, those kind of things, with the moves that you had? How are you feeling about your offseason at least?
This is the single best offseason that our general manager in his 3 years has had. When you get to year 3 of a program, this is what it's supposed to look like. And we had a setback last year, and I didn't think we would be at this point after last year's debacle, because last year was fool's gold, right? It was a byproduct of fool's gold in 2024. We thought we could skip steps. There's no skipping steps in building what I call a triple P, a perennial playoff participant. You don't skip steps. You have to build it systematically. You can't go after it in free agency. You don't build your roster through free agency. You build your roster through the draft. You supplement your roster through free agency. And we tried to go and chase after a chip by adding guys like Von Miller and trading for Deebo Samuel. We tried to fast track it because we were one game away from the Super Bowl. And while we were one game the year before away from the Super Bowl, we also had a flawed roster, and it was carried by the greatest quarterback rookie season we've ever seen in NFL history. So it was going to be hard to follow that up. And so this offseason, Adam Peters, they had to do a deep dive. Adam Peters, Dan Quinn had to assess everything, left no stone unturned. And the byproduct of that was them having what I feel like is an excellent offseason because they were being challenged. A lot of people were upset after last year, especially Dan Quinn in particular. He made a ballsy move by going and hiring 2 coordinators who've never called a play in NFL, right? David Blau never called a play in the NFL. But as I tell Commanders fans all the time, he penned some of he was a songwriter, right? He was a songwriter. This is my analogy for him. He was a songwriter, and he wrote some great hits. You know that Eagles game in 2024, the 5-touchdown game Jaden Daniels had at the end when a great call at the end of that game. Preposterous! Touchdown to Jamison Crowder back of the end zone, wide open, beat the Eagles. That was a David Blau play that he drew up in practice specifically for the Eagles and the defense that they were going to play in a situation just like that. So there were a number of plays there, and there are several more I could go through that he penned individually. So he's a songwriter that can write hits for others. Now, can he write hits for himself? Can he get behind the mic and actually record an album, put out hits, and do what he did for Cliff Kingsbury for himself?
Music. Yeah.
Right. So that's a question. But you got guys like Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell endorsing him, saying that he's next up. Like the Lions tried to hire him, and that's what forced us to have to hire him without really going through the process of interviewing a bunch of candidates. They were going to hire him. No ifs, ands, or buts about him. They wanted him. So this guy has some chops. Now it's just him proving it.
Yeah.
That's a ballsy move by Dan Quinn to hire a guy who's never called plays because his job's pretty much on the line here.
Yeah, I think all of us in the division kind of have that guy, that coordinator as well. That there's a lot of question marks in there, and I'm going to let everybody else kind of jump on the Washington and what they've done in the offseason, and we'll definitely follow up more about Washington. Let me get on to some of these super chats. You got Dirty Sanchez, and I apologize because these are super chats. So he says, Leo loves the Eagles. I think he should paint himself green. Wait a minute, never mind. He would look like Shrek. Okay, Dirty Sanchez kind of blowing there. Linda says, tell Louis T. Aikman and Terry Bradshaw were passengers.
Damn good ones too.
You got Mark Hutchison that says, he goes, I never looked up to the Eagles win or winners or losers. And then you got Wade Kuiper there. He says, any quarterback with multiple Super Bowl victories is a Hall of Fame quarterback, period. Via Eli Manning and Jim Plunkett both should be in the Hall of Fame. And then Coyote says Mannion went ahead and got extra coverage in case he starts raining eggs. But now, as you guys talk about it, we'll start Mike Tag and kind of go through Dash and Leo. What do you think about Washington's offseason? And I'll let Louis T kind of jump in there each time to kind of defend it as well, too. So go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, whoever.
Yeah, I think a lot of question marks. They obviously had a disappointing season. It's going to come down to Daniels. I mean, if he can have the season he had his rookie year, I think they'll be obviously much better. And I think this whole division is better. So I think all 4 teams improved.
I would agree.
Over the offseason. I think it's going to make every team better. So Washington is probably that 4th. I look at them as the 4th team in the division right now, just because I don't know what Jaden Daniels is going to do, and I just think they're going to live and die with him.
So the reason that's crazy, Mike, is because the 4th in the division with the best quarterback is crazy. Wouldn't you agree?
He's not the best quarterback. He had one year. Give me a break.
The best quarterback in the division. How could you say that, Mike? Michael, stop it. Stop it, Michael.
He's about as bony as my kid. So, I mean, he ain't going to take – Quentin Williams is going to bust his ass up.
Quentin Williams is going to – he won't even get near him. We're challenging Philadelphia for the best offensive line in the division. He won't even get near him. He won't sniff him.
Whoa.
Wow, that's strong. I don't even know that Philly has the best offensive. Well, maybe on paper.
Until someone knocks him off of that perch, they've got the number one offensive line.
I was just trolling. Yeah.
So Dash, what do you think about the Washington offseason? Or Mike, did you have more?
No, I don't think a lot.
No, he's not wrong.
Disrespect to Washington. No. I don't think a lot of Washington right now. But we'll see what happens with Daniels.
You're not wrong about Daniels being the catalyst. If we go as he goes, I think that's any NFL team except for Philadelphia, or in this division, I should say. Every team in this division except for Philadelphia.
Man, you are suffering from
Hey, Leo, have a sense of humor. I'm kidding. You guys look. He was ready. He was ready to pout. I kid.
No, Louis T. Listen, I helped get PTSD added as a qualifying condition to the New Jersey Medical Marijuana Program. I'm a veteran.
Oh yeah.
So I know, and that's the first time.
Thanks for your
PTSD
service.
was the first mental health qualifying condition. So I'm telling you, I know what PTSD looks and sounds like. That 55 ass whooping you got, and that that you got it bad, bro.
Man.
And then followed up with a disastrous, second year out of jail.
It'd be one thing. It would be one thing if he played the entire year and that was the end result. He played.
Until y'all give his mama some pads, that boy ain't never gonna be safe. He ain't gonna be safe. Y'all got to give his mama some pads, bro. That's the only way that's gonna happen. And mind you, you guys are in a state of flux right now. Considering last year y'all was like the oldest team in the league, right?
Are we in a state of flux?
All right, well, Louis, break
team in the league last year?
Break down some of the moves that you guys have done in this offseason. You've done quite a lot, especially on that defense.
It's quite a lot too, I think, too.
I would tell you that we're the most improved team in the division. Now, I say that because we were really bad last year. Like, our roster was terrible. Okay, so the bar was really low. So I think we were the most improved team in the division this offseason, and here's why.
With the most potential.
We were the worst defense in this division, rivaling Dallas. I think Dallas might have had us beat, but our defense was awful. Our defense was awful. Okay.
Dallas was like 30th, 30th.
30th.
We
Yeah.
were 30.
No, I mean,
Somehow we were in
Whole
front of
division was
Washington.
bad,
I don't know
man.
how
Yeah,
that
yeah.
happened.
But
Whole
you
division
watched
was
you
bad.
we all watched the
Yeah, I
games,
know.
right?
We
The
gave up
eyeball
more
test.
30-yard
I know what
chunk
you're
plays
I mean,
than anybody.
Russell
I know what
Wilson
you're
threw for 792
He's
yards
still
and
completing
18
passes.
touchdowns
He's still completing passes.
against the Cowboys.
Yeah, he
Okay.
looked like
Still
old
was.
Russell all of
Yeah.
a sudden.
He
Like
said,
he got him and
"Let's
Sierra went
ride
partying
all
that
over
night.
our
Like,
ass."
Oh yeah, they did.
The good news is that your defense came out of the season. The guys, your core guys on your defense came out relatively healthy. That's
Some
a
of
good
them,
thing.
some
Yeah,
of
but you
them.
went
Yeah,
out
yeah.
Most of them didn't even
addressed-
finish the season.
I mean, you
No,
went out and
I'm
got
saying
edge
your
rusher
new
after
core
edge
guy.
rusher.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
Yeah.
your new core guys. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Lulu and all them. Like nobody's coming off of nobody who in the young renaissance going on in Washington. Those guys are not hurt. You guys are trending in the right direction in that aspect.
Dash, you
So-
want to jump in there? Oh, go,
Yeah.
Go ahead,
after
go ahead.
Louis. After
So-
Louis
okay.
T. After Louis T.
So, you asked for some off-season acquisitions.
Yeah, I want to
Offensively-
hear because it's a
offensively-
lot. It's a long list.
Yeah. Let me knock them out real quick for you. Offensively, you upgraded the tight end position. Ertz was great, but he was old. We got Chiga Conquo now. This is a guy that I think could easily be 1,000-yard tight end in this offense that we'll be running this season. This guy is. You're gonna find out about him. We added.
You one of them ones.
He is absolutely one of the ones that he
Okay,
could
all right.
potentially. I won't say that yet. He's got to
yeah,
prove it.
yeah,
I think he
yeah.
could be one of them ones at the tight end position when it's all said and done. Wide receiver, obviously, we added Antonio Williams via the draft. We brought back a familiar face and De'Ami Brown, and I think we're still waiting on Brandon Ayuk, which is a crazy situation. Everybody knows about that situation, but we're waiting on him to be released so he can come to Washington. We'll see what happens with that situation. And that will put a cap on the wide receiver position that is a lot better than it was last year. My God, Terry wasn't healthy, and you know what that did to our entire group last year. I don't have to
That was a
explain to you.
contract year for him too, right? Like
Last year, he had a dispute with the contract in the offseason. He held out, and then he got hurt. And that happens when you hold out, it seems like, all the time.
Yeah, fair.
Offensive line, you got an extension done with Laramie Tunzel. You basically brought back your starting left guard and Chris Paul, but he's going to compete with Brandon Coleman, who was a former third-round pick of the team. And the rest of the offensive line, you moved on from your old friend, Tyler Biadasz. You guys know all about Tyler Biadasz.
yeah.
Moved on from him. Put Nick Allegretti in his place. We drafted another center in the draft. So those two will compete, but it's going to be Nick Allegretti's job. And then you got Cosme finally healthy. Remember last year, he started out the season on the PUP list, tore his ACL in the divisional round game against Detroit. So he's fully healthy. And then you got second-year player now, former first-round pick, Josh Conley Jr. at right tackle. So we think that line has immense potential in year two. You go to the defensive side, and this is where all the real changes have come. And at the running back position, you added Rashad White, you added Jerome Ford. So just some depth there at the running back position. But defensively is where all the changes have come. Adafi Owe, edge rusher. Charles Amenahu, edge rusher. Kaylavon Chason, edge rusher. They added Tim Settle at defensive tackle. Amik Robertson at corner. One of the equivalent to Chiga Conquo on the offensive side in terms of an offseason steal is linebacker Leo Chanel from Kansas City. This guy's going to be a stud for
Good
us.
one. Good one.
That's a big signing for us. Obviously, we drafted Sonny Styles to go along with him. So now you went from one of the slowest linebacking groups in the league to probably the most athletically gifted linebacker room in the NFL with those two on the field. And and then you
second most athletic.
no. Have you ever seen 6'5", 245 running a 4.55?
I love
4.45
Leo Chanel I love Leo Chanel coming out of college. I mean, I already know Sonny. Listen, I was big on Sonny Styles. I wanted Sonny Styles more than Arvell Reese because I thought Arvell Reese wasn't going to be there. But yeah. So the track record for Arvell Reese, I mean, for Sonny Styles, for me, yeah, I understand. I understand what you guys have, but I do like Edmonds and I do like Arvell Reese too as my linebackers. But we listen. I try to be respectful as possible because again, I've been at the bottom of the bottoms for a while, and I will say this though, for the whole division did improve for the most part. Well, I will say, you know, Commanders, Cowboys, Giants have improved. I got to see what's going on with the Eagles because you guys got some similar pieces still there. But again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's your philosophy, right, Leo? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, we had no choice now.
Yeah,
Remember, because Jeff Stoutland's gone. But again,
but bringing it back to the Commanders, though, right? For me, there were very little things that brought me joy last year, and that was seeing the Commanders fall from cloud nine. Because all summer, I went back and forth with Commander fans. Yeah,
They're putting their hands up.
Your man, Rio was letting me have it on Twitter, Pauls. Yeah, and he was like, man, y'all still in the basement. And then once y'all season ended, I said, welcome back to the basement and stuff like that. So yeah, no, listen, I think the main thing is a healthy Jaden Daniels. If I'm going to be just absolutely serious, healthy Jaden Daniels is the key to the Commanders. You guys did add some good pieces on the offensive side and the defensive side. I like what you did with the offensive line. A lot of the guys that you picked up, like Connolly, is a guy that I liked as well. As far as me being a Giants fan, I've been looking at linebackers and offensive linemen for like the past 7 years. Like, so everybody that you got, not just the Commanders, some of the picks that the Cowboys got, some of the picks that like Dickerson for the Eagles, guys that I all looked at that I would want on this team. But the train moves with the conductor, and that's Jaden Daniels. And I think that's the most important part of you guys being successful. And everything else is like, Adam Peters did a good job building this team around him. But is that going to be the part that gets you guys over the hump? So what are your expectations, though, Louis, as far as
he's one of them ones, right? He's anointed.
He is.
So
absolutely. Dable wanted him. Dable wanted him.
I'm gonna jump in after this.
So with that said, the misconception is that he played poorly last year. He didn't play poorly last year. He was injured, and the supporting cast around him was terrible.
That's my other point. That's my other point I wanted to make too. And I'm sorry for cutting you off. You said Dan Quinn hot seat, right? And I absolutely believe that. What is the level of the temperature on that seat for Dan Quinn? Is it playoff or bust for him?
No. So okay, let me kind of set the scene for what I mean by it's a big off season for him. Last year was a train wreck. He bought time by going to the NFC Championship championship game in year one. Like he bought himself some time with that. Like he took us somewhere we hadn't been in over 30 years in his first year here. So he's not getting fired if they don't have a great, like if we have another season like last year, then that seat gets extremely hot and then some real questions have to be answered, which is why hiring two guys who have never called plays is risky because it could go off the rails. Could go off the rails.
Will be good for 2 years at least.
Yeah, he's going to be here next year. If we'd have to have a train wreck of a season and the players would have to quit on him for him to be fired. And that's not going to happen. And they love him. These players love him.
My bad, Phil. I know Phil got some stuff to get to.
Right? Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I feel like last year with the whole Jaden Daniels thing, I think they kind of forced him back on the field because of what was happening there. He shouldn't have got thrown back, and they should have let him just.
They Robert Griffined him.
Yeah, I don't want to say it like that.
Yeah, see, I was trying. I was hoping so that wouldn't come up.
Somebody had to say it.
I tried to be nice, Mike.
Yeah, it scares me, man. I'm with you too, man.
It wasn't even remotely close to that. Like Robert had a serious knee injury, and he shouldn't have been back on the field. Jaden had 3 different injuries. They were all freak injuries, and none of them were the type that was going to keep him off the field for an extended period of time. The last one, he could have come back. If we were in it, he could have come back. They basically sat him out for the remainder of the season, just precautionary. Like Leo said, like, let's go into the offseason with you healthy and being able to get better instead of having to rehab, right? Like our season's over. So
like the injury look. Yeah.
There's no reason to. There's no reason to.
So let me get some super. I was gonna get some super chats and kind of go. Chris Dooley says he's a Washington fan. Says shout out to the panel. Good seeing Leo back. But hats off to the Commander King. This dude is a real microphone assassin. Hashtag Tom and Tom song. Bobby Schmurder says Giants and Washington fans book tickets to Cancun. Yeah, go ahead and get those extra deals and stuff like that. Now when it comes to Washington, I think one thing about this offseason that they've done a really good job of is replacing old talent with younger talent. I mean, when you're looking at a Bobby
Yeah.
Wagner difference maker, I'm over here still chanting over here. Let's sign Bobby Wagner to this linebacker core and let's try to improve. So when you look at that kind of thing and you're replacing that with the styles, I think again that's a good complement of what they've done. They're replacing older guys with younger guys. You got some of these guys pass rushers. You got Chase on coming in there. Some question marks in the sense, is he another Dorrance Armstrong type of signing where you're signing him for a lot of money, but is the production going to be there? I think there's a lot of questions as well there too. But again, what can you do as a team? Try to address those situations, and I think they did a great job so far of doing that. But I think it was very quietly done. When you look at what this team, I kind of question is obviously the secondary, some of the wide receivers itself there. But I think again, if you get a good pass rush or the front seven is really, really good, that can kind of counter some of that. So and my question to you, as we're talking about Washington, how do you feel about that secondary coming into this season, especially with an NFC East that usually has a lot of weapons in that wide receiver category? How are you feeling about it?
So that's probably the biggest concern right now, if you ask us on the defense. The thing that offsets that is our new defensive coordinator, Durante Jones. Cowboys fans know all about him. I know a lot of Cowboys fans who wanted him as the team's defensive coordinator this offseason. Came from Minnesota, right? And the scheme that they run over there is one that is dependent on pressure. It is a heavy pressure scheme. They give different looks. And what it does is it minimizes the cornerback's importance in the scheme, if that makes sense.
Hold
So
on, wait. You're saying your defensive coordinators, it came from Minnesota.
correct.
Yeah. It wasn't the main defensive coordinator. He was part of that defensive coordinator
He
team.
was secondary
Yes.
coach, right?
Yeah.
He was the secondary coach, correct.
Yeah.
Okay, because that means that my offensive line coach practiced against your defensive. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Bad.
Our offensive, Chris Cooper came from Minnesota, but he was on the offensive side of things. So I'm just now realizing, oh shit, okay.
Well, we got Dixon, the defensive line coach. So
Sorry
this is
to
a
cut you off, bro.
smattering
Sorry to
of
cut you off.
Minnesota.
No. I get what you're saying there. So the minimizing of the secondaries involvement, specifically the corners, because in Minnesota, when you look at what they did and how they play top down. They keep everything in front of them. They're allowed to be aggressive in jump routes, and they do a great job of disguising. And basically, the corner's job is to be deeper than the deepest, wider than the widest, and keep everything in front of you. Just don't lose your luggage, essentially.
Damn.
And if you can get pressure on the quarterback, that's going to. I won't say it's not that much different than what the Eagles do, like that cover four shell where they just kind of keep everything in front of you,
Right.
not try to funnel everything to the middle of the football field, rally and tackle, get you off the field. But it allows guys to not have to play a lot of man coverage per se and be put on an island. And so our corners aren't the best, even though we are very high on our second round pick from last year's draft, Trey Amos. But
So good.
ultimately, Mikey Sanders still is being moved outside permanently. They bought Amik Robertson over from Detroit, and they signed Akello Witherspoon as a veteran at the cornerback position. So, like, it's a solid group. The safety position leaves a lot to be desired. We are very thin at safety, if you ask a Commander fan, but ultimately, what you're hoping, we brought in Nick Cross, who I think is going to have a fantastic year this year. Is what they're going to ask him to do in his defense fits his skill set to a T. And he's a tremendous athlete, and I think he's going to be around football a ton this year. So
let me jump in there real quick because I know Dash has to be getting going as well too. So I want to loop you two together for this next part of it itself because you're talking about Daniels itself. Everybody looked at him in LSU. Obviously, he did an amazing job. Everybody understood why he was going to be top of the draft. Brian, we just knew Washington was going to be that team. We're going to go against this guy, but a lot of his habits have kind of transitioned to the NFL where you're like, I could have been like one of those crappy fortune tellers and say your quarterback will go head first into the defense and be injured and stuff like that. Yeah. So I put you two together because obviously, you know, Dash is talking about getting an offensive lineman, but if your quarterback is going head first into the secondary each time, how are you feeling about your quarterbacks that are like very I'm Superman type of thing going into this upcoming year?
Let me go. Yeah, I'll go first because I do have to go. Funny you brought that up. They actually talked about that today. This was OTA 3. And they said well, Jackson Dart said his first meeting with his quarterback coach Callahan. They went over his plays, all of his scrambling drills, and went over pretty much the risk and reward of staying healthy. And he said he understands. He understands, and we saw it in the Dallas game end of the season that he was sliding more, he was getting out of bounds more. I think the Patriots is what pretty much sent him over the edge, taking those type of hits. But he recognizes it. He knows that his best or the best chances for the Giants is for him to be available and on the field and playing. So they have addressed that. We'll see what happens in these games because he still said at the town hall, you know, he he said all of this stuff, but he went back to if it's third down or if I'm in the red zone, I'm going to try to make that play. And it's just like, why can't you just leave it alone? But he'll either he'll learn, either he learns now or he'll learn the hard way. But hopefully he understands. But again, one thing about having a better coach in the building and also a better coaching staff. Now, I know these guys, a lot of people they make fun of the coaching staff because of Nagy and Roman and all these other guys. But I just think about these guys being in different positions. Nagy failed as a head coach. He's an offensive coordinator. Callahan failed as a head coach. He's a quarterback's coach, and he coached up one of the best quarterbacks in the league in Joe Burrow. And then you look at Roman. Roman had his flaws too, but had one of the best running offenses, that for offensive coordinator. So I'm happy with the hires. I'm happy with the staff, and I got big question marks too, similar to what Louis T said when it comes to my secondary as well. He said the safeties. I'm thinking about my cornerbacks at the end of the day. I'm hoping that Colton Hood can be that guy, possibly be the CB2 for us, maybe future CB1. But I ended at this when it comes to secondary. We're banking on a lot of players to have bounce back years. Javon Holland, if he can get back to the form of what he was in 2023, possibly. He was a top 3 safety. Paulson Adebo before he broke his leg. He was a solid cornerback. So we got a lot of hope that these guys can bounce back. And then when it comes to the offensive line, we're hoping that, Maui Noah can be that right guard for us. Illuminor can have another solid season. But I think it's about, because I think our main weaknesses is center, JMS. And then John Runyon to me is trash. And I'm talking about my own player as being trash as a left guard. So we got a lot of question marks, but
I appreciate you coming through, man. Thank you.
Thanks,
thank
brother.
you for having me.
I hope you come
Ryan,
back.
thank you for reaching out, man. You guys have a good one, man. I appreciate y'all.
Thanks,
Hey,
man.
Big Dash,
Take
we
care.
all got to get back together again, man. For real, this was too much fun.
Man. Let me know.
So Louis
Later.
T,
Take care, man. Take care.
Quarterback, you think this is going to be a learning experience for your quarterback in the sense that, like, hey, I'm going to probably try to bring myself into the pocket more, try to not run. I mean, obviously you have your instincts that kind of kick in. Do you think this is going to be kind of one of those learning things?
Yeah, so that wasn't like our quarterback's never left the game due to a concussion. Like he's never been hit in that way. He doesn't do the things that we've seen Jackson Dart do where you go like that was stupid. What are you doing?
Injured. Yeah.
Yeah, like like Jaden's injuries, most of them happened like I said, in freak nature. Like the Cowboys game, there's a blitz and it's not picked up. It's Sam Cosmi's first game back. He doesn't communicate with the center. Free rusher comes and he pulls his hamstring trying to recover a fumble. Like that's freak, right? He throws an interception against. I mean, you saw the play against Seattle. Like he's running, he tries to brace his fall with his arm, and it twists. It goes the wrong way. It's a freaky accident, right? Like that's not I'm lowering my shoulder, I'm taking a massive shot. And in the Vikings game, he throws an interception, and he's trying to run, and he gets blocked, and he falls on that same shoulder that he had just come back from. He's not getting injured because he's running and he's taking these massive shots. We don't worry about Jaden Daniels getting hurt. I actually think guys like him who are very flexible, that kind of wiry frame, they don't get injured very often. A lot of people make a lot of Jaden Daniels, getting hurt. I think his dexterity is actually a positive for him. But to answer your question, the offense that we're bringing in, everything that they've done this offseason has been Jaden Daniels centric. All right. Meaning he's been at the focal point of what they've done. They switched the offense. They're going to have him under center this year. Like, he's really never been under center in his career. He's going to be under center a ton more because the play action fake, it just didn't work out of the shotgun. And they want more big plays out of this offense. He's a very accurate deep ball thrower. There's a lot of opportunities being left on the table because we don't have a real play action fake offense. So now we're going to have that. There's a lot of Ben Johnson principles that you're going to see from this offense. They're going to be a lot more run. They're going to try to make sure that Jaden Daniels does not have to put on the Superman cape every single week. We know he's capable, but let's not have him have to do that every single week for the Commanders to win football games.
So get him the help he needs to stay healthy and be able to
and be the best version of himself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Mm.
Well, so yeah, no, great. Go ahead, Leo.
Yeah. What I wanted to say was, to be, no trolling here or anything like that, but I don't think Jaden Daniels is injury prone. I think the way things have been set up for him, he's just been prone to injury. Not like, to your point, getting blown up and pulling his hamstring and all that stuff. That's just like he needs, and it seems to me like there's been a real investment in making sure that he doesn't have to do those things. I'm not I do think that he is a little light in the ass.
That's why I said his play style, right, Leo? Just lends it to where
it's scary. Yeah. But I do think that that you guys are trending in a direction that shows to me, good activity. I always say at the end of every season, I don't care what happened, if we won or if we lost, what has been the activity to address those things that we would have been, whatever the shortcomings of was the season before. The investment that I'm seeing being made, particularly on both sides of the ball, lends me to believe that you guys, from an organizational standpoint, and because you have a defensive minded head coach, that both those areas are being, addressed. But it's going to be a couple, it's a years plural type of situation.
Yeah. So Brian, I know we're hitting hour 2 right now. I don't know how much longer you want to kind of go. We finish it up with something to go to wrap up the teams, or how do you want to play this?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Real quick, Bobby Smurder. Real question is how to stop Lemon. Amon-Ra St. Brown. So now he's Amon-Ra St. Brown.
He's greater than. He's greater than.
He's greater than. I like that, Bobby.
I just want to say something about because I was really wanting to get to Big Dash. I just
we'll get back with him.
I want to say this. My business partner retired as an offensive lineman for the Baltimore Ravens. His name's Eugene Monroe, and
oh yeah, I know.
He and I talked a lot about John Harbaugh and what it was like playing for him, and ultimately like things, and like he could not be more excited for the Giants, considering the staff that he's brought in. You know what I'm saying? And listening to I value Primetime Phil's opinion, because he is someone who's played he's actually played the position at a much higher level than I would have ever played. I've never played it, so I would defer to his to a player's judgment, and listening to him talk about the things that John Harbaugh is going to be bringing to New York. As fellow members of the NFC East, the Giants are going to be a problem in the next couple of years.
Yeah, definitely.
They're going to be a problem. They are definitely trending in the right direction. Should this coaching staff be as successful as it can be?
Yeah. No, I was going to say, as you're talking about that, I was going to grab Mike's opinion. How are you feeling about the NFC East overall, and whether you want to break down each one as well too?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think to the points of the guys, I think every team has improved. I mean, the Eagles were number 1, so they don't need to improve. They were the top team. So I think the division is going to be better, which is going to make every team better. Now, I'd probably still going to say I think it comes down to Philly and Dallas. I don't know if Washington and the Giants are going to be there yet, but I think they're building something. I think the Giants are really building something. I think they're going to be a dangerous team down the stretch. That's why I say, and when I look at the schedule, I like the way the schedule's kind of played out for the Cowboys playing the NFC East teams, because they get Philadelphia on Thanksgiving. They got them sandwiched in, playing the Titans before that. They get Washington at home early. They get the Giants on the road early, so they get the Giants when they're better on the road. I think Washington will probably be out of the race by the end of the year, so that game may not matter for them. Nothing against Washington, but I think the division's going to be better, and I think it's going to make the NFC East better. And I just want us to be respectful. I'm sick of seeing the NFC West and all these other things. It used to be the beast of the East, so hopefully we'll get down to that. And I think it's going to be a fun year for all four of these teams.
We're going to be multiple teams in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I would think so. I would agree. It's going to be two of these, two, if not, possibly three, if you can get it. I think the NFC North kind of whooped us a little bit. And so I think there kind of has to be a little revenge as well there too. But I think we're going to have to get a revenge in the postseason, as I don't think there's very many games that we've have with them. But how and I want to go with you as well too, Louis T, and then we'll go Leo. How are you feeling about the whole overall NFC East, and how you're going to fit in there throughout the season?
Yeah, this is one of those years where it's going to be interesting because in previous years you knew, okay, Philadelphia is going to be really good. How do you get to Philly? What's Dallas going to be? And then everybody else kind of just get in where you fit in. I think it's wide open this year. Like, this is one of those years where I think 11 games might win the division. It's an interesting mix in terms of the schedule. The last time that this division played the AFC South, 3 teams made it to the playoffs. All 4 should have made it. We were the one team that didn't make it that year. I always say that when you play the AFC South, you have to take advantage of that division. And it's, no disrespect to the Texans and the Jags and the Colts and the Titans, but it's one of the lesser divisions in football, and you have to take advantage of those games. And so I look at our schedule. It's tough to start. And if we can navigate the beginning of that schedule, I think we're going to have a shot. The thing that always gives us hope is that we got Jaden Daniels. We got the best quarterback in the division. We think we got the best quarterback in the conference. So that's going to give us a chance every single week. And then they've improved the roster. It's the best roster he's had in his NFL career to this point. So you feel really good about that. I think the Eagles are going to take a step back, not a massive one. I think they're going to be right there when it's all said and done. I think Dallas is going to be interesting because with all the moves that they've made defensively, I still don't believe in their defense. And so I got to see it to believe it. And then we saw this offense be dynamic last year, but we also saw George Pickens be George Pickens, right? Like, he could quit on you at any moment, notice. And I also think that whole contractual situation is going to become a problem if this thing goes off the rails at any point. If he gets frustrated, I can see that turning into an issue. So I'm interested with Dallas, but I always know something's going to unravel because Jerry's always going to make sure that things don't go well in Big D, right? So something's going to go awry in Dallas because it always does. Just a little bit. Hey, he loves that. He loves that glory hole. Jerry loves that glory hole.
Hey, yo, LT.
Watch him damn mouth.
Y'all have?
Huh?
How much money do y'all have?
Cap wise?
Yeah, cap wise, yeah.
We still got we're probably top 10 now. Still. We're still top 10. We still got a lot of cap space, man. We're still good on cap space.
Is everybody signed too?
Right now you're at 43.7 million in cap space.
What does that rank us? Does it tell you where
I could find it, but yeah, you're sitting you're sitting
pretty good. Yeah, like, we got a lot of cap space.
Right now, you are 4th in the league. Right now, Commanders have 66. The Niners have 66.4 million. The Titans at 42.6. Chargers at 40.4, followed by Washington. I was looking at effective cap space. That's what I look at. But yeah, so you're looking good.
Yeah, we got plenty of cap space. Our general managers put us in a great position. We stay cash to cap, meaning we don't have deferred contracts. We're not pushing contracts back and having guys restructure. Our contracts are set up to where, you know, your first 2 years are guaranteed. That last year, there's no guarantee money. If we want to move out on from you, exit ramp, we can get out.
No,
There's
it's understandable.
yeah.
Very, very good. I mean, very good. I mean, that's usually what happens when you don't really want to keep most of the people on your roster. So, I mean, you can kind of make those they make those little hits as well. Trust me, we've been a part of that.
There. I saw what you did.
Yeah.
That's
how we've done it.
thinking to myself, I'm like,
Typical quarterback.
this is why Eagles fans aren't really sweating the whole AJ Brown thing, and we've already to a degree, most of us have pretty much moved on. And you know,
It's weird because he's still on your roster, you know.
Yeah,
no,
they
What if
know
you
he's
woke
on.
up and
Yeah.
said, "Oh, well, the Mike Vrabel situation and all these other rumors
I don't
about."
care about listen,
I'm just
man.
saying, wouldn't it be crazy if he stayed?
Yeah, but see,
To
that's
Louis'
the thing.
point,
though,
I
is-
think that may hurt him.
No, but see, here's the thing though. Contractually, it still works out for us. I mean, this is his last year guaranteed money, and then the next 2 years he's coming. It's 22.
But I just mean everybody's got him gone. He's still a part of your team. Now I think he's gone.
Yeah, but here's the
But I
thing
mean,
though.
you know,
but if we
I've
get
seen-
what we could get out of him,
Well,
you know,
per
for him,
Philly
that
500,
is
Leo.
that's Howie Roseman getting more draft
Per
capital.
Philly 500, the deal on the table from New England is a 2028 first round pick.
So that
Well,
but
I
we're
think
talking
you
about
want to
Howie
get a first round
Roseman.
pick next year. You got to hold your ground.
Yeah,
Next year's a
but-
stud draft. So,
But we're talking about Howie Roseman. You're giving him,
Uh-oh,
even
here
if
we
it's
go.
a 2028 draft pick, he's going to play around with that.
but I'm
thing.
just saying, I don't know how you guys feel, and we'll get to Mike's. I just want to get in here real quick. I think New England may take a step back this year. They had a real cupcake schedule last year, so I think
They
you
got a tough
would
one.
want
They got a tough schedule this year.
you would
too.
want their pick this upcoming year. I would
Yeah,
think.
hey,
Yeah,
look,
that's all.
or-
Hold
or
your ground,
from-
Howie.
and there's also the potential bidding war that could be going on right now with the Kansas City Chiefs. You got
Jacksonville.
We'll
the
see
Jacksonville
what the bidding
Jaguars,
war is. I think a
49ers.
lot of it's who knows what's true, guys, and what's not. I assume that there would be more suitors, but you know, you would.
I mean,
you know, you
I'm
would've
just
thought.
saying. Either way, contractually we're still in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
You know, worst case scenario, he stays, and that's not a bad worst case scenario to have.
If he's not getting the ball, it
Added
might
to
be.
this defense, added to this offense already.
Yeah.
You know, so there's it's a good time to be us at this point in that regard. You know, so I'm good with it, and I think that again, I think all of us we're going to be probably putting multiple teams in the playoffs on a consistent basis in the next couple of years, where every team in the NFC East is in a multiple project in some way, shape, or form.
Let me ask you every single one of you, because then you can kind of defend your team and what do you think about it. Now, let's say with each one, going into the season, we're going to push it's all hypothetical. Let's
Right.
say your team, whether it's Philly, Washington, Dallas, any of that stuff, let's say your team is last in the division, whatever ends up happening. Do you believe with the last place spot in there, your coach for your team would be immediately on the hot seat with possibility of replacement with how history and any of that stuff? Do you believe that? Any of you can go.
I'll say yes. There's the talent that they have and the investment they put in. If they end up last in the division, they're going to have to do some soul searching on every level, coach, quarterback. I mean, blow it up. I mean, they're going to have to do something if they finish last. That's just my opinion, because you can't keep going down 7 wins, 8 wins. I know injuries or whatever, but they have got this year. You've got to see some big improvement, especially on that defense.
What about you, Louis?
Yeah, I've said already that this is a big season for Dan Quinn. It was a big off season. I feel like he aced it. I had to give him credit for thinking outside the box. But thinking outside the box is one thing, but this is a production-based league. What does the results say? Did he get it right with these coordinators? And if he did, it's going to be a great season and seasons to come until these guys get plucked away from us. If not, he's one step closer to being out of the door in Washington. And a huge step. His seat gets
very fair on
extremely
those
hot.
two. Very fair on those two. What about you, Leo?
It's under the pretense that we're last in the division.
Yeah, just say it's all hypothetical, obviously.
Yeah, all hypothetical. Hell yeah.
That's why. That's why
Hell
I
yeah.
respect Philly. They have no
Hell yeah.
patience.
Yeah.
Get him out, fire him. If he loses 2 in a row, they want to get rid of everybody.
Yeah, bye. Yeah,
I
hell
love
yeah.
it.
Because I know, like, I know, again, not trolling, because I know Cowboy fans can be a bit desensitized when Jerry Jones speaks and all that other stuff. But here's the thing: whenever Jeffrey Lurie says we're gonna have a meeting and there needs to be a plan or some shit like that, especially after the collapse, that's a like, hold up,
Yeah.
like, because one thing you got to say about, I can get to Jeffrey Lurie, he don't say shit. You'll see him sitting in that chair during the draft, doing like this and everything, and he might clap and hug somebody or something like that. But he don't say shit. You'll see him in the damn locker room when they come in after the game, and he be off to the side looking and everything, and he might clap, but he don't say shit. You don't ever see him in the news or anything like that. So when he says we're gonna have a meeting, I'm coming downstairs and we're gonna have a meeting, that's a come to Jesus moment. You notice how AJ shut it the fuck up as soon as he showed up at practice. You ain't heard shit after that. He took his ass off to the side of the field. Him and Jeffrey, AJ Brown and Jeffrey Lurie went off to the side of the field. And then after that, AJ didn't say shit the rest of the year. Nothing. All it took was for Jeffrey Lurie to come to practice and he said something. And guess what? He ain't even come back to practice again. So that kind of owner, and look, to your point, you put out all this money, you acquire all this talent and everything like that, and you in last place, you must be out your rabbit ass mind. Your ass got to go. Shit. Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah, last place for us again. Unless the division, like if it's Phillies 12-5, Dallas is 11-6, and the Giants are 9-8, and we're 8-9, he's not getting fired. But if it's Philly 11-6, Dallas 9-8, the Giants are 6-11, and we're 5-12 or 4, Dan Quinn could absolutely be fired. Absolutely be fired.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that seat being.
So I'm gonna switch it back and go positive on it as well, and bring it, and you guys can answer it. Your team goes first place, goes deep into the playoffs. I'm not to say whatever happens in the playoffs, all that kind of stuff. Does your coach proven enough to get an extension with a successful season?
Ours just got paid last year.
Yeah.
But they do still like to extend even with even with that.
Maybe the next coming. If Eagles do half decent, he may be looking for a head coaching job. I mean, I don't know, Phil. Everybody's.
This is, and I'm gonna say this. This is what I think. I think he's there with the understanding that you're going to be here for at least 2 more years. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's got Christian
Super
Parker
Bowl
moving
coaching
already.
starts
It's like,
playing.
let's play a season already.
Yeah, and that is if again, it also depends on how far we get. You know what I'm saying? It really does, because if we get, like, here's the thing: at minimum, I'll take a deep run into the playoffs at minimum, because when you're in the first year of this new offense and you get this far, you know what I'm saying? Again, being able to see, and with the opportunity to see Jalen in the same offense 2 years in a row, I think it's worth the investment to bring back to keep the offensive coordinator and the head coach. And after today, we know now we probably gonna have Vic for a couple more years, because he just told everybody he ain't ready to go now. His doctor told him that all his damn vitals came back, like he's getting younger.
He's eating beets or something.
Yeah, So he was like, "Now y'all stuck with me a lot longer than I thought."
Got off those Philly cheese steaks. That makes good. Mike Tag, how you feeling about your coach if he has a successful pushing into the playoffs?
Shoddy.
Absolutely. I mean, if he gets it going, I like Shoddy. I think, hopefully they can keep, if he's having a good season, maybe Christian Parker ain't here that long, but I mean, hopefully they can keep some continuity with these guys for a couple of years. But I like what he's done. He's changed some of the culture, changed some of the, kind of the player attitudes. He's done a really good job. And if he makes a deep run, man, I'll be happy. But I don't want a deep run, man. I'm sick of it. I need a Super Bowl. I ain't getting much younger. I need a Super Bowl, man.
All right, Louis T., what about you with Dan Quinn and his moves and everything that they've done this offseason? You think he would deserve something like that?
I don't know if an extension would be in line after year 3. He did sign a 5-year contract. But
Yeah.
there's a chance that that would be 2 out of 3 years where it's been outstanding, and the 1 year in the middle was injury riddled. So
Mhm.
he would really be riding a pretty significant wave if he were to do that. But I think you'd still be one more year away from, and you know what? I can't. I would say that there could potentially be an extension, because you usually don't let
Don't
your
want to lose
coach
him,
go
right?
into that last year, that
That's-
lame duck year, if you will. So I think he would be in line for an extension probably if there's a successful season this year for the Commanders.
So all three of you, sorry, Brian, I'm kind of running with this. I want you guys all three, since Dash isn't here, give me your opinion on the Giants. Obviously, you got hardball and everything, but let's say they decided they were in last. Obviously, I don't think anybody would think that he's on the hot seat or anything, because he's obviously just got there. But and no extensions. But with that, is this kind of one of those things where it's kind of like Chicago, where if Chicago has a successful year, yeah, it's not a surprise. It was Chicago had it last year. Or if Chicago has it, well, they were still an underdog in that sense. So with Giants putting that staff together, if he's successful, is it one of those things? Well, he was successful in Baltimore, and everybody just kind of sweeps it under the rug. Or is he legitimately getting that hey, this is nobody's surprised, but is he getting that, hey, we did it, turn it around? Is he getting that credit?
Yes. Yes, he is. Considering the way like, I'll be honest with you, when he first got there and the way they were talking about how he was hired, it gave me flashbacks of Chip Kelly, because I was like, oh shit, so what's going to happen with Joe Shane? Are they going to banish him to the broom closet or some shit like that? Because that's what it had, that little bit of like motion energy to it. You know what I'm saying? But after, like, now knowing that they just re-signed Joe Shane and gave him an extension, and the way both him and Harbaugh sound like they're lockstep, it's probably one of those things where it could work. I think it could be what it could look like is what it looked like when Parcells was in Dallas.
Fair.
Yeah.
It remind me of that if they keep going, because they're trending in a really good direction right now. So, we'll see. Like I said, I think they're going to be a problem.
They definitely would give him all the credit. They're so high on Harbaugh. The reason they're so optimistic this offseason isn't because of the moves made. That adds to the mix. But you talk to any Giants fan and they tell you that they were poorly coached. That's been their narrative for the last 5 years, right? Like, oh my God, Daboll was terrible. Pravka was obviously brainless. And when he took over, and before that, you could go all the way back to oh man, I can't think of his name. They went to the playoffs with him.
Oh, Pop. You talking about
Antonio Pierce?
No. No, I can't think of his name right now, but like
the older dude, right?
Well, Tom Coughlin?
Not Coughlin, the guy when they were the last time when they were on the boat, man. He was the coach when they were on the boat. I can't think of his name. But at the end of the day, they feel like a lot of their woes stem from coaching. Like, they didn't think they had a terrible roster. They just thought they were poorly coached. They think this guy's going to come in there and change everything. So if they win this year, he's going to get the bulk of the credit. I was actually shocked. I thought Joe Shane was going to get fired after this season because Harbaugh basically came in and said, I'm in control, right? You're a figurehead. And Joe Shane got an extension. He got an extension.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay, you with me.
He kissed the ring. He kissed.
I said, wow.
But isn't that covered? But hey, Lou, LT, listen, doesn't it give you kind of Chip Kelly type vibes at first? Like,
I was like, whoa, okay.
Cocaine connection for Dallas Cowboys guarantee, Bobby Schmurder.
Yeah, I was not looking. I was not expecting that. So
yeah. Okay, yeah. Well,
let me ask you, like, since we're on the Giants, Louis, again, what happened with Harbaugh? I know he was a good coach, but he seems like he has more. I mean, Joe Shane's not. I don't know. We're talking about him getting an extension, which I don't think he deserves it, right? With a lot of the moves that he's done, Harbaugh's never ran a team himself.
I would say Nazi, yeah.
So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
my thing with the whole. I'm not.
Yeah.
I think the floor has been raised. Everybody, I do. I like John Harbaugh, but he was getting run out of it. I don't know what was going on towards the end of his tenure with Baltimore, but he's never ran an organization. I think everybody's just getting a little carried away with Harbaugh. Am I the only one who thinks that, or you know?
Understandable.
I don't think. I don't
know?
think they're getting carried away. They're excited. You know, when you've been.
But I've
When
seen
you-
Giants fans. We got Harbaugh. Watch out.
Yeah.
We running. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, that's
Yeah.
not the case.
But that's Giants fans everywhere.
Usually having a
no
hard
matter
ball means you got
what.
some cancer there.
It-
So
it-
like
they-
you gotta.
Every year, Giants fans, just like every year, Cowboy fans think they're going to win the Super Bowl.
No, the
right?
media,
We haven't
media
said
Cowboy
that in a
fans.
couple of years.
Media
Right.
Cowboy fans. That is not us.
A couple of years.
You know how there's always a moron during the thunderstorms and stuff like that? Well, you got that idiot. That's always
Yeah.
the people on camera is that guy.
Gotcha. Well, they're
And even
allowed.
in the-
They're the
they are.
loudest.
They
They're
are.
the
They are.
loudest.
We even roll our eyes.
Well, my dad's a Cowboys fan, so I know the real Cowboys fans don't feel that way. He doesn't think you guys are going to win anything until Jerry's no longer in the picture. But I'm like,
I
I'm
don't
like
know if it gets any better
Stevens.
with Steven.
I'm like Stevens just as bad, right?
Yeah,
like,
he's worse. Yeah.
if not worse. So
LT, I met some actual like in market Cowboy fans, and they are not.
No.
yeah,
They
no,
are.
my-
They don't
my
talk like No offense.
They're
they don't
liking
talk
what's
like-
happening
like-
this year because
No,
things are
no.
happening more briskly than usual. They're being a little bit more proactive. At least that's what I'm hearing.
it's from the
you-
two
you falling
coaches.
you falling into the trap game.
I'm
Ty.
drinking. I'm gonna drink.
You
I'm gonna drink a little
falling
bit of the
into-
Kool-Aid. I'm
Hey,
drinking a little bit of
hey,
Kool-Aid.
Jerry really
Yeah.
y'all in, man.
Oh, Jerry.
He's really you in.
No.
Bro.
It's those two
Slow
coaches.
down
It's two
a little
coaches.
bit.
I talked to some in market Cowboy fans, and they want Dak ass gone 2 years
It's
ago.
understandable. It's understandable.
Well,
Yeah.
he
They're not
has no
trying to
more
get
rope. I mean, he's out. I mean, he needs to win in the playoffs, right, Mike Tag? I mean, it's all about the playoffs.
He's a victim of. I mean, the defense has been horrible. The running game's been bad, and he's made bad decisions in big moments. I mean, it's just a culmination of problems in the playoffs. It's not. I don't put it all on one player, but ultimately, the quarterback has to wear the. They got to wear the pain of it. And if they don't get it done, that's what I say. If they don't make something happen this year, I mean, you have to start looking at it. You got to look at what Denver did. Denver bit the bullet and they moved on, and you go get Bo Nix. And I mean, they were an injury away from going to the Super Bowl with a second-year quarterback. I mean, you can rebuild quicker in the NFL, but you got to get a top quarterback. The Cowboys' last first-round draft pick quarterback was Troy Aikman. I mean, they haven't, other than that, it's been an undrafted free agent and a 4th-round pick. Makes it hard.
Yeah, but
Yeah. When
how many top rated quarterbacks coming out of college have been to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
There's a lot. Go look at the first-round draft picks in the quarterback in the Super Bowl. It's a lot of them.
Yeah.
That's pretty much
one pick.
outside of Hurts. That's pretty much all that go. Like you think about the top quarterbacks. It's Stafford, it's Burrow, it's Jackson, it's Allen, it's
none of them.
Mahomes. Like these are all first round picks, most of them inside of the top 10. Jackson probably being 32nd overall, but still a
And
first
how
round
many
pick.
of them? Yeah, and then ask yourself this: how many of them have double digit years with the team?
Yep.
You with the same team?
Yeah,
None.
yeah,
None of them. Yeah, because Stafford, has only been in LA for 4 years now. So,
yeah. And what's this year? What 12 with Dak?
yeah.
When I look at Dak,
he came out with Carson and them.
yeah, when I look at Dak and everything like that, I truly believe when I look at some of those San Francisco games, there was a San Francisco game where he was on his shoulders, and then we talked
That was your
about the
best
running
chance
game.
to win the
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
I
By the
agree,
way,
I agree.
And
Yeah,
he
if
blew
not
it
that
in that game.
2016, one of that rookie year kind of thing had that same kind of vibe. But when you look at him, the moment that I couldn't defend him anymore is when he started sucking up all the roster money. And I'm like, well, we can't afford to, we can't afford to pay anybody. Well, they weren't wanting to do those switches and everything like that to pick up those guys. And now it just seems like, again, we're right at that back of that, we're doing everything a little bit late, where we could have done this earlier in his contract where he wasn't eating up $70 million. And obviously the cap wasn't that high, but
They
Y'all
had him
did it
they
twice.
had him
also-
for peanuts, man.
you
They had him
also-
for peanuts, and they
Yeah.
did nothing.
Twice.
Nothing
You
to
also
give.
have
did
to.
it
You also
twice.
got to blame Jerry for that too, because
Yeah.
Jerry
100%.
waits to the last minute
100%.
He
to
wants
do
to see more leaves
everything.
fall, right? More
Yeah.
leaves.
Oh
need to
yeah,
fall.
leaves fall. Like
Yeah.
you gotta.
that he's
Jerry
and
used
then
to
by
play
the time
option quarterback, man.
yeah,
Jerry
by the
used to
time
play
he
option
does his
quarterback.
contract, it's like a bare tree with no
Yeah,
leaves on
we're
it
out
at
in the
all. He
sun.
saw them all fall. He was
120.
just like
You gotta wait till that last second to pitch that football. Remember, you can't
Oh,
forget
yeah,
pitch
yeah,
it too
yeah,
quick.
yeah.
You got to wait till that last second
Arkansas.
before you
Yeah,
pitch
yeah,
that football out there.
Yeah. That's
Right,
a-
Jerry. Right.
Yeah.
Louis a fool.
Well, he's right
I'm
though.
just, I'm just telling you what Jerry told us, man.
That's
Hey,
the
I used to
metaphor
play
he
option
used.
quarterback, and you
Option,
can't
yeah,
pitch that
that's it.
football too soon. You got to
Yeah,
wait till the last second to pitch that football.
I don't have the same exact way you use
I'm getting visions of Denzel trying to tell Sunshine this way. Just do it
Yeah,
this
this way.
Just
Hey,
like this.
this way, just like that.
What's your point?
well, honestly,
What's your
guys, I
point?
appreciate it. Brian, I think we're right there at 11
What's your
o'clock right
point?
here.
What's your point?
Oh,
But
shit.
but a very good first panel for the NFC East clash.
Yeah,
Great
this is good,
representation.
yeah.
I think it was really, really good. You brought it, had a lot of knowledge there as well,
bringing
too.
Louis in, he brings the facts. We wanted to pick his brain, Phil, about the Commanders, and I will say, Phil, just real quick before we get out of here, hearing him talk about Washington has me a little bit. I mean, he brought more to light than I thought was there.
Well, I mean, come on. The defender before was Momo, and nothing against
But
that,
no,
but
but
that's
I-
a 2%
No, but I
milk.
just mean he does bring in. I didn't realize they did
stop.
all of that. They've
Stop.
done all of that.
Don't desecrate this. I'm sticking up for LT now. Don't desecrate him with that.
Oh,
Stop.
no, I'm
he
just
don't
saying
know
our bar
Momo,
was
so.
extremely low, and so like it.
I don't know who was here
Okay.
before, but shout out to
Yeah.
them, man.
Well,
I
no,
don't know.
well, no, Momo's a Washington. He's a channel member, has his own channel. Momo
LT,
Rants.
you don't know who Momo is?
Momo Rants. Anyway,
No. Mm-mm.
after hearing him, Phil, I'm a little bit more concerned about the Commanders. I'm kind of.
No, it should be about everybody in this
Well,
division.
I would tell everybody I didn't know what to expect from Washington, right? And it seems like they
The
went
silent
out and did a
offseason.
lot.
Every team in the division has gotten better, including Washington, and we're going to be in the mix. And the reason we're confident,
McLaurin's excited. I heard his.
he's
latest
very
comments.
excited. Our
surprised me.
our offensive coordinator came in, and the first thing he said is, "We're going to get you 10 targets a game."
Mm.
No one has ever said that to Terry McLaurin in his career.
Scary. That's
And he
scary.
is chomping at the bit to get this opportunity. He's played one season with Jaden Daniels, which is the best quarterback
Right.
he's played with. And he was a second team All-Pro. And he had 13 touchdowns.
Right.
So he's chomping at the bit to
So I
get this
guess they're.
opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, you
You
go
know what?
how
And
Jaden
the other
goes.
thing too is you guys have the other thing I think you got going for you too as well, which isn't said enough, is your ownership looks like it's trending in the right direction too.
Absolutely.
You
It's
know,
not
like,
trending in the right direction.
It is. Yeah.
We
it
had
is.
Dan Snyder. You can't go anywhere but up from there.
Notice notice when I gave you my troll, I said Dan Snyder and Vinny Serrato.
Yes.
I was coming hard. That was as deep as it was going to get.
Yeah.
But I know.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I see things.
Oh man.
And you guys are that you're where Dallas wishes they.
All right.
You're giving Dallas the way you guys are going and everything like that. You're giving Dallas a glimpse, because when Jerry's gone, they're going to be feeling like you feel right now, having gotten rid of.
But Steven's
Dan
lurking
Snyder.
in the shadows.
Steven actually-
We're
That's the
hoping,
problem.
we're hoping he just
Yeah,
wants
I
to
don't
just be
know.
on camera and not be behind the scenes anymore.
The
know?
question is he going to have a weekly program on the radio? too?
No.
Is he going to take over for his dad after?
He already
he's
has
done?
one.
Does he?
has one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yes.
Yeah, but Mike, do you really think that Stephen Jones is going to have a post game
Continue.
like before?
Wait.
I don't know if
Anybody
I don't know if he will, but
Because that's
I mean,
the problem. We don't hear
yeah.
the coach. We hear
Wait,
from
Mike,
Jerry.
he got a show.
He's had a
he
show.
has a weekly interview on 105.3, I think, a Thursday. He does a radio show, like 20-minute interview, and then Jerry's got one twice a week. I mean, they're all
Twice a
right.
week. And Jerry speaks after every game.
That's the
What
problem.
owner
Yeah.
has a press conference after every game, a media scrum
What's
after
your point?
I love
What's your point?
The one that the one that put Pepsi in the logos in the stadium, and
What's your
it was
point?
like
What's your
cha-ching.
point?
And that's
Hey.
and he was the one that revolutionized it, and now we're all paying a bunch of subscriptions and crap because he
Yeah,
started
thanks,
this shit.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry.
Hey, keep the tours, the in-season tours of the stadium going too as well. Keep
Dude.
them
Oh,
going,
God, I
Jerry.
hate that shit. Anyways, thank guys. Brian, go ahead and
Yeah, man.
introduce
Listen,
and talk about these
everybody's channel link is in the description. Mike Tag, Cowboys Cave. Again, he brings. I love his channel.
Great cast. I love all the guys.
Again,
you bring
man.
in. Very
Mike,
good. Sure,
keep
people
up
you
the good
interview.
work, brother. I hope to hang out. We're trying to dial in. We're looking at the Niner game, so maybe we'll hang out in Dallas. Thanks, brother. Leo, the bird section, he is back, people. He is back with a vengeance. Thank you for coming back and joining the show. We're not going to do this every week. It'll be sporadically, but it won't over the next couple of months. We'll do a handful of these. And Louis T, thank you so much, man. You do bring the knowledge, not just about the Commanders, but for everybody. It's refreshing to talk to somebody who knows a lot about my team as well. I appreciate that, brother. And thanks for always being gracious to hang out with us.
Ain't no doubt, man. I appreciate all of you guys. This was a lot of fun, and you guys are awesome. This was a great time.
Thanks,
Appreciate you.
man. Phil,
Absolutely.
final
Great time.
words, brother?
Thanks for the lives.
Also-
Thanks for the
also-
lives, guys.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Also, a big shout out to Dash for coming through as well too. A very good, good Giants content creator
Yeah,
there.
he knows his shit.
Yeah, we're always trying to broaden our horizons in the sense of, I started a Cowboys channel, but most of my supporters aren't Cowboy fans as well too. So it's when you're in there, you gotta wear all kinds of hats and ready to defend your statement if you bring one as well too. So again, I know hearing from you, you all understand football, you understand your teams, you understand the rivalry as well too. So a great upcoming season, and I look forward to doing more content with every single one of you. And I hope every one of you guys have an amazing success on YouTube. So I appreciate it.
All right, man.
Likewise.
All right,
Appreciate
guys.
it. Thank
you. Late. See you.
All right, guys.
Take care.
What? I'm cool. This is me. We're gonna jump on that spaceship and get out of here. Let's go.
No judgment. Shoot.
To smash that subscribe button. You know what? I'm gonna give it. I'll give it 4 out of 5 avocados. Korg?
I was raised by avocados.
Oh my God! Just kill me now.
Ho, ho, ho. Green Giant.
Hey! We know each other. He's a friend from work.
I think it's going really well. I know. This is literally the first time I took my gun out of the holster. Right.
And that is why we need a triumphant video.
You guys led us to this. Thank you.